transferred through saliva, typically via a bite from an infected animal, but also if saliva with the virus contacts broken skin or mucous membranes, eyes, nose, and mouth. The virus multiplies in the salivary glands of the infected animal, making saliva a primary vehicle for transmission.
Primary?
Yeah, they probably need to dispose of their fermented peaches. But it does sound good, though. A little peach moonshine.
I don't know. I might drop some fermented
got some in the other
peaches
room
around
if
my
you want
apartment
some.
complex.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
That stuff's dangerous. You
gave-
can't taste the shine.
Somebody gave us moonshine jalapenos.
Ooh.
That was our friend Richard Holland, remember?
Yeah, I've still got those in my fridge.
Those are a little much, though, aren't they?
You know, it was pretty heavy taste, Lance. I'm going to be honest with you. I've still got them in my fridge, but I tried one or two, and I was like, woo!
I like the cherries. Have you guys tried those?
Oh, yeah.
Moonshine cherries?
Yeah.
Pickled peaches are good. Jono, have you had pickled peaches?
I have not.
Those are good.
There was a time when we used to drink moonshine that was just a legitimate shine, and it was the absolute worst tasting thing you could ever put in your
One
mouth.
that just tasted like alcohol?
It was even worse. Like, I can't even describe, like,
lighter
burned,
fluid?
Really, probably more turpentine, lighter fluid.
Yeah, then we got fancy and started putting fruit in it. Yeah, the good days.
It's dangerous, though.
Yeah, back in my day, we just drink lighter fluid, rubbing alcohol. Yeah, if we were lucky, we got a little bit of NyQuil.
That's all I got.
That's Trash Today, brought to you by our friends at Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. One more time, tell us about our plans on Friday. Again, the show will air live 11 to 2 on Friday. Brooks, I'm sure, will be sending out reminders on Friday to remind you that the show doesn't start at 9, but 11 to 2 at Galette's.
Yeah, 11 to 2 Galette's, brought to you by our friends at Bud Light. We're going to stay a little bit later, though. So, Company Distilling, we're going to actually do a Bama and Bourbon with Aaron Suttles. So, a live version of Bama and Bourbon this week. From Galette's, I guess we're going there 2:30 to 3.
Yeah.
We'll have a little 30-minute buffer, but from 11 to 2, our regular show, great Bud Light specials, live music will be there. So we're looking forward to a big Friday at Galette's.
Mike Gundy, did he stay too long?
You know, I've always thought there are a couple guys that I thought were just right place, right time. They were just such a good fit with their school. I don't know that it would have worked anywhere else. I've always put Mike Gundy. You put Phil Fulmer in that category, I think, Jim. I don't want to put words in your mouth, but I think you've said that before.
Not staying too long, but
no.
As a guy that had worked great at Tennessee, I don't think he could have coached anywhere else.
Yeah, and I tend to think Gundy was that same way. We'll never find out. Supposedly he was up for the Tennessee job, almost took it at one point. Don't know if that's true or not. I do think he has stayed too long at Oklahoma State. It is beyond time to make a change.
That was a bad look, them getting beat the way they did at Oregon.
He might have stayed too long, but where's he going to go?
He's not going to go anywhere. I'm saying for his... If he were at all worried about the way he's thought of down the road, and this will probably get forgotten. He's had so much success there. Yeah. But, I mean, if he cares anything about his legacy, the end of this tenure at Oklahoma State has not looked good.
Yeah, I understand, like, the ebbs and flows of a program like Oklahoma State. What I don't understand is how bad they've been last year and then early this year.
But see, Jim, he knew how bad they were going to get beaten, too. He doesn't do that whole NIL discussion. Next Round shirts, Next Round hoodies, and Next Round hats are all in one place. NextRound.store. Find your favorite piece of gear from your favorite show and put it in your rotation. You never know. You might be in one of our videos showing Next Round gear being worn all over the world. Find all your favorite Next Round gear by visiting NextRound.store. Place an order for you and that big Next Round fan in your life at NextRound.store. Look your best at work, at school, at the stadium, or anywhere you go wearing Next Round gear from NextRound.store.
Honey, a while back, life knocked me flat on my behind. I was hit by an 18-wheeler, and Lord of mercy, it left me hurting. Now, I heard through the grapevine that Alexander Shannara had recovered big money for some people. You been hurt? Can't work? Don't sit there suffering. Call my people at Alexander Shannara Trial Attorneys. Ain't gonna cost you a dime, so pick up the phone and dial 659-777-7777 or go to Shannara.com, because when I called, Alexander Shannara answered.
Call me, Alabama.
No representation made that the legal services provided are better than legal services provided by other attorneys.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, the Next Round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
We'll get to the sports part of our show coming up here momentarily, but on this day, specifically this day on September 11th, we remember 24 years ago, but also other than planes flying into buildings. America can be attacked different ways, whether it's a shot in Dallas or a shot in Memphis or a shot yesterday that we saw that killed Charlie Kirk, age 31. And I wanted to start the show just by talking about what happened yesterday in America and where we are before we get to the sports part of this. It was just one of those days where the division continues in our country, and we are at a place that that just it makes it hard to do anything else but be sad and angry, but sadness and somber, and it's hard to do show notes and hard to get fired up for a football night and all that. And yesterday, I truly believe that a future president of the United States was assassinated yesterday.
I don't know.
I've heard people say that.
Yeah,
I've heard people say that.
Yeah. I mean, he could have been if he wanted to be.
Yeah.
It just depends on what he wanted to do. I mean, Brown and I were talking about it last night. The guy makes so much money, and I think he really enjoyed, obviously, having this forum and opening it up for all sides and really letting people, throw their opinion out there. Now, I don't know if he ever lost a debate, did he?
Well, no, but he controlled it. When you've got the microphone, you control the debate. But, that's really, our country was founded on debate, and we ought to be able to have healthy debates. Otherwise, we've lost our center here.
Yeah,
so.
I like if I'm a guy like Clay Travis, I get a little nervous. We used to laugh about, is he really getting death threats?
Yeah,
but
yeah.
if you're an opinionated guy and you've got a big platform now, I don't understand taking your ball and going home if you get defeated or you get upset about a comment, but people literally getting violent about this stuff. I know you used to have protests in the 60s and 70s, but now when people are getting killed, and look, it's all over our world now. And specifically, if we stay in the United States, what happened in Charlotte last week?
Yeah.
And, what happened in Colorado yesterday with the school shooting? I really, and I'm not saying this for a fact, I think we need to really, really make examples. The guy in Charlotte on the bus should be decapitated in public.
Yeah. Yesterday, if you were watching news coverage, we're in the middle of covering the shooting of Charlie Kirk when you get interrupted with more breaking news of the Colorado school shootings.
It's amazing.
Yeah. It's just one after the other.
Yeah, I have gone as far as now, hey, my daughter, you don't go anywhere alone. You've got a safety in numbers. It's sad that we're at that point in Birmingham, Alabama, where we originate out of, but I just don't trust anything anymore.
It's a crazy world. As I was texting my daughter yesterday, that same thing. We just live in a crazy world. It's so weird with my setup. You guys know I got a big age gap in my daughters. My oldest is turning 21 on Saturday. My youngest is 11. I think my youngest doesn't even know. My oldest was the one that alerted me of the story, So, and as I told her, man, we live in a crazy world. I just don't know what to tell you, except you are going to get older and raise kids in a absolutely crazy world. And I just don't think it's ever going back the other way.
And as important as social media is for us, there's so many positives with social media, but it's almost like the negatives outweigh it.
Oh, yeah. By far. And that was one thing that I always admired about what Charlie Kirk would say. He was a believer. Here's a guy that I learned about first off through TikTok as it would come on my feed.
Yeah, he was very good about that. Yeah.
And listen, I did not agree with everything he said. Obviously, from my point of view as a guy who doesn't like Republicans or Democrats and the extremes in the world, I believe we need to be all together. So I would agree with a lot of things he said and disagree with some. But one thing he said was, and I'm horrible about this, but he would say, on the Sabbath, we need to all put our phones away and let's don't pick them up. Don't pick them up on Sundays. And for what we do, it's almost impossible to do.
Sure, yeah. But, especially if you consider the biblical Sabbath was a Saturday.
Yeah.
So I don't think we can do it. I know what you're saying,
but Sabbath is whatever it is.
Yeah, whatever day you decide
to
rest is your Sabbath.
One day a week.
Right.
For some people, they can't do it on Sundays or
That's
Saturdays. Right. And I thought to myself, how I've tried to do it before and I'm horrible about it, but that was just one of the things he talked about often. It's just such a connection with young people in America, and you could just see that yesterday on campuses in Tuscaloosa and Auburn, with their reaction and candlelight visual and things like that. It's just I have this. I think one of my biggest problems in life is that I have this hallmark vision of what I think America should be.
Oh, I think we all do, Jim.
And that
used to. I don't
No. Should be. Jim's
should be.
Not is or can be maybe even anymore, but should be. Yeah. I think we all have got a hallmark vision of what America should be.
Yeah, like it used to bother me when you would talk about the Kennedy assassination and how it would be. It had to be this or that, and it couldn't be just one crazy gunman. And I always am hesitant to believe that, that our country could ever do anything wrong,
right,
abroad or anything like that. And as we get into deeper part of where we are in the world right now, I'm still a very proud American. I wear the flag. I love our country. It just makes me sad of where we are, and it was just a horrible day. We've experienced a lot of them lately. But I texted Clay because as I'm watching the coverage, and then I saw the end of Clay's show. And Clay, who, I disagree with as much as I do anybody, and on some things, I'm sitting there watching him, and he has me in tears because I love Clay, and I'm sitting there watching him talk about his friend Charlie. They were close, and him and his son and his relationship, and Charlie's kids, and how Charlie's kids won't be able to ever jerk his hand away from their dad. And Dad, I'm old enough to cross the street now. And Clay's telling that story and fighting back tears. And I'm sitting there bawling, watching Clay do that. And I just thought, man, I just want to watch college football. Yeah. I just want to watch NFL football. Yeah. I just want to do a sports show. And we're a community here. We gather together, and you guys in the chat room, and our great sponsors, and those of you that come to our shows, and we fight about Alabama and Auburn, and that's the only fighting I really, really enjoy. And it's just crappy. It's just a horrible
we've
place.
Just got to get more extreme on this stuff. Back to the biblical stuff. And I do.
Eye for an eye.
Well, no, I think you go Old Testament. I really do. Like Charlie Kirk did such a good job of bringing faith into, unfortunately, a younger demographic that maybe isn't exposed to it. But I think we go back eye for an eye. I really do.
Yeah. I just don't. I think we've gone too far, unfortunately, to go back. And I hate to say that. You guys know I'm as optimistic a guy as there is. But to your point, Jim, and even tying 9/11 into this, nothing healed our nation more in that than sports. I mean, that was really the healing of our nation was when sports started back.
You guys remember, though, and look, it's been, 24 years away removed from that?
24 years from 9/11.
So there were two incidences in my life that I remember everybody coming together. We had a fraternity brother that died, and I remember, we had a fraternity of about 100 guys, and, different parts of the country, and, different beliefs, and, just different friend groups. But everybody for about a week came together and went bowling and had dinner together. And I remember after 9/11 in 2001, like people letting you in front of them and being nice at grocery stores and stuff. And yesterday, there literally are videos of people celebrating Charlie Kirk being assassinated.
I know, but that's the way
this is. I don't think we'll ever get this back.
I know, that's the way this is. But anytime there's a big tragedy or a nation goes to war or whatever, everybody just they joins together, and then we forget that for some reason. I don't know why. I guess it's selfishness and things like that, and we've all got a streak of selfishness in us. But we just forget what that is like and how healing and cathartic it can be.
Karen writes in, bring the joy and fun to the show today, guys. We need it more than ever. Praying hands emoji. So that's what we'll do. So for the rest of the show, we will do our normal show. But I wanted to start off, since I am occasionally tasked with the direction of the show each day. I wanted to start off the first 10 minutes with that. So we'll get into Thursday night football, both in the NFL and college football, and Alabama and Auburn, some interesting injury news involving the Wisconsin-Alabama game. And around college football, it's a pressure point weekend for some folks. So all that coming up here on the show. Being brought to you by the great folks at Odie's, and no better way to transition and get into the, as Karen wants us to do, bring the joy and the fun to the show, then talk about our friends at Odie's, great neighborhood bar and restaurant, where on Wednesday nights you guys have a lot of fun, and you ask a fun question, you bring people together, and they laugh, and they have a good time. And the question last night was?
Yeah, well, I'll bring this up first. You know, at Odie's, we have these interesting team names. You've been there before, and people get out there, and, you know, we often, in tragic moments, make light of situations. Yeah. And I went into it, and I talked to Brown about it before, and I'm like, I ain't putting up with any of these names tonight. There was so much respect for Charlie Kirk. Not one person said anything, and you could tell there was kind of a somber atmosphere there last night at Odie's. But the question was not a positive question. What U.S. state has the most DUI arrests per capita? And I did a multiple choice here. I did A, Wyoming, B, New Mexico, or C, Florida.
See, I immediately knew, Jim.
Yeah.
That was
my three choices again?
A, Wyoming, B, New Mexico, C, Florida. This is per capita.
Since he said per capita, I immediately pushed Florida to the side.
Exactly.
I knew it was either New Mexico or Wyoming.
It's going to end up being, I'm going to say, part of me wants to go because your ex-wife, had family in New Mexico, so that would make me think you would know that stat.
Her aunt, a judge, just retired in Albuquerque.
Yeah, but I'm going to say Wyoming, but
it is Wyoming.
Yeah, you were right. I went New Mexico.
Just these little things that you learn every time you come out.
Sadly, on Jeopardy, you don't get that long to work your way through the answer.
And you don't get multiple choice either.
Yeah, that was more of who wants to be a millionaire, me trying to figure it out.
I was asking my robot a lot of different things. My robot just doesn't give good trivia, so I finally was like, what state has the most DUI arrests per capita? And so my robot did spit that out, but I had to go multiple choice. Little things you learn at Odie's every Wednesday night, Odie's Team Trivia. We do it at the original location at Crestline, the newest location in Edgewood. Great food at both, live music at both on Fridays and Saturday nights. And a great place to watch all the college football action inside or outside on that great patio. Enjoy the fall weather that is coming. But get in, see Will Haver and that great staff. Birmingham institution, it is Odie's Tavern.
I also remind you every year at 9/11. I watch it every year. To go, and I'll do it later today, the red bandana piece from ESPN on Wells and his courage saving people in the tower. So just go look red bandana if you've never seen it. I watch it. This will be, I don't know when it came out the first time, but I've watched it every year on 9/11. I'll watch it again later today. Something I sort of pledged myself that I would do. And the red bandana, so you get a chance to go watch that today.
Incredible. I'm a little surprised they haven't done a movie loosely based on that.
Yeah, that would be a good flick.
Yeah, because, I mean, we don't know exactly what happened internally, but enough people saw him. But I think you could piece something together. But that is one of the coolest things. Boston College guy, right?
Yeah. They do the red bandana game every year.
Lacrosse player, Boston College, and they do the red bandana game. All right, we'll jump into the Bama injury news after Brownie tells us about our friends at Central State Bank.
That is the bank that is big enough to serve you in all of your needs, but also small enough to know you, because they are a community bank based right here in Alabama. And they get you at Central State Bank. More accounts and transactions. They're more than that. They're about people. 6 locations across Shelby County, 1 in Alexander City, right where you need Central State Bank. That's right where they are. Whether you're running a business, buying your dream car, or just want a bank that remembers your name, they got you covered. Central State Bank, member FDIC.
All right, so Wisconsin, their starting quarterback, Billy Edwards, knee injury, has been out. I mentioned it earlier this week, home-and-home series, Alabama-Wisconsin. And there is a chance that Wisconsin will play 119 minutes of that without their starting quarterback, because they lost their starter early in the game last year. But reports today, Billy Edwards is making the trip, and he's going to warm up at Bryant-Denny Stadium and try to give it to go. But Luke Fickell said yesterday, we've got to protect Billy from himself. So he wants to play. Right. So he wants to play, but
it doesn't matter.
Fickell is telling him, hey, I know you want to play. It's our best chance of winning you healthy, but we've got Big Ten football to come later on, right?
I don't know how much better Billy Edwards is than Danny O'Neal.
Yeah, O'Neal has not been bad in relief.
Yeah, this is a kid that came over from Maryland and got pushed out because they've got a true freshman quarterback now starting for Mike Loxley. But Billy Edwards, I mean, it doesn't matter. I know I said this against Florida State. Castellanos is one of those guys that can give you a lot of problem on the edge. Florida State is much better. Wisconsin is not much better.
Danny O'Neal's only thrown 11 incomplete passes all year. He's 35 of 46, 403 yards, 4 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. He's the backup. But Billy Edwards is making the trip. Here's Kalen DeBoer on what he sees in Wisconsin when he throws the tape on.
What have you seen from Wisconsin so far this year? What kind of challenges might they present? And how much do you look at that game last year where you guys fared pretty well?
Yeah, we'll certainly look at that. I think there's a little more carryover with their defense just because of the same coordinator. And so, you're going to get a physical team, typical Wisconsin, a lot of pride in who they are and what their identity is. And that showed up in the first two games. Very, very when it comes to run game, very, just kind of rock solid, keeping things under wraps. I think it's 60 to 70 yards total in rushing over two games. A balanced offense, I think, with the run game really setting up the play action, the shots, going to try to get your free access throws, get the ball out to receivers when you have to load the box. And so, there's some great fundamental things that they do, and we got to match the physicality with great effort, do a good job of getting ball carriers down, getting them into situations. I think just the name of the game would always be to put teams in down and distances they don't want to be in, make them uncomfortable, and you can pin your ears back and get after the quarterback.
Ryan Williams cleared to play for Alabama. Jim Miller, Tim Keenan, game time decisions. How do you handle Miller and Keenan if you're the coaches?
Well, I think if they're healthy enough to go, if they are, given a go medically, I think you play them just to get them some game reps. Not only game reps, get them in game shape a little bit. I mean, it is a Big Ten opponent. Again, this is not a good Wisconsin team at all. I'm telling you, at the end of the year, this team will have 3 or 4 wins.
3 or 4 wins.
And
they've already got 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're 2-0.
No, hey, Scott, when you get a chance, and not to put you on the spot, and I know you're quick at this, but look at Wisconsin's schedule. And this is one of those beatdowns that they will get on Saturday that I think it spins them into throws them into a tailspin that they don't get out of.
I've got their schedule here. So as Jim points out,
hey, by the way, real quick, Luke
2-0.
As good as Luke Fickell was at Cincinnati, he has played 6 ranked teams at Wisconsin. What do you think his record is?
I would guess 0-6.
I'm going to say he's lucked into one just with that wall green W on his helmet. I'm going to say 1-5.
0-6.
0-6.
Yeah, that was a good guess. Maryland next, which could be their old quarterback versus their new quarterback. So you say they lose the Maryland game after Alabama, or is that one that they
Where
could
is
win?
that game?
That's in Camp Randall.
That's a tight game.
It's a noon kick.
I would lean Maryland right now, but tight game.
Not the big noon kick. NBC/Peacock on that one for some reason.
But they've got a really difficult schedule.
After a bye, tell me which one of these games they win after a bye. At Michigan, host Iowa, host Ohio State, at Oregon. Is that a tough stretch?
All those are getting light.
You better grab Iowa if you're going to get one.
Yeah, I mean, Iowa would, at least it'll be close.
Yeah. After another bye, Washington at home, at Indiana, Illinois at home, at Minnesota. Yeah, there are not many wins left.
Yeah, they're 4 wins, maybe.
Yeah.
He's going to get fired, and Luke Fickell seems like a good guy.
Yeah, I like Luke Fickell. I got nothing against him.
Really is a good guy. Ryan Haney, who we used to work for.
Yeah.
I got sent down to Birmingham Bowl news conference.
So I know what that was. They were a sponsor. We needed representation, and you were willing to do it.
Yeah. Or maybe it was our first year here. When did Cincinnati come here?
They've been here a few times.
Yeah.
After Brian Kelly took the job.
I can't remember.
If Fickell was coaching at Cincinnati, it would have been before we got here because they were in the college football playoff our second year together.
Yeah.
That was 2001, right?
Yeah, so maybe it was the year before they were in the playoffs.
21. Yeah,
but anyway, it was either first year here or last year there, it seems like. I got sent down because we needed to cover the Birmingham Bowl news conference. So I went down there by myself and with no recording devices.
Clearly an appearance by you, right?
It was just me going.
Jocks is here.
Yeah, and so, or next round. I forget where it was. Yeah. And they were like, do you want to interview Luke? And I was like, sure.
Did you do that? Did you just hold the open hand?
I held my phone.
He's a pretty big dude, isn't he?
Yeah, he was taller than me. So that makes him over 5'10" and a half.
Yeah.
And
were you even recording, or did you act like you were recording?
I was 100% acting like I was recording. And
you're getting a call there, man. I don't know.
No, he'll come back.
Yeah. I got one of those special. That's my other line, special phone.
I've done it.
So back and forth, but he was the nicest guy. And then talked to me afterwards. He's like, "So what do you do? Who do you work for?" And I explained to him, and it seems like a great sports town. Yeah, it's a great sports town. He was just a really nice guy.
All right, so back to us doing the show live and moving the time tomorrow 11 to 2. And I really think we're going to get a great presence of Wisconsin fans.
At Galette's, by the way.
I just read this yesterday. This is only the second time that Wisconsin has ever played in the state of Alabama.
I would have guessed it was the first time.
I was at the other one. Oh, hold on. Wait a second. Let me pull this up.
Oh, pull this year, and I'm going to be impressed.
Wait a second. It's going to be. I remember it because we ran out of beer in the city of Birmingham. All the bars. It was Wisconsin, Kentucky Hall of Fame Bowl, 19.
Well, it had to be early 80s. It's Hall of Fame Bowl.
If you can complete this, if you can stick the landing on this.
I'm going to say...
He's 3 for 3.
I'm going to say 1982.
Very close. 1984 Hall of Fame, Kentucky 2019 over Wisconsin.
I was at that game. I think it was about 51 degrees.
And literally, Wisconsin fans drink Birmingham dry?
Yep.
I mean, that is not an over-exaggeration.
I believe it. I mean, you will see. It'll be hard. It's a different hue of red that we will see on the strip tomorrow, but they'll be out in full force.
Yeah.
So you are still thinking that a good crowd is coming?
Yeah, I really do.
I agree with Lance on this because I think if you're a Wisconsin fan, you're like, I am never going to get to go to a game at Alabama. And I think we get numb to it because we live here. But I think people outside have seen what Bryant-Denny looks like on CBS over all these years, and you're like, I want to go there. That's a cathedral. Well, again, we get used to it, but I think people outside look at it as one of the cathedrals of college football.
Here is another factor, and this sounds crazy, but it's legitimate. So in that state, you've got one college team, you got one NFL team. That NFL team plays tonight, so they don't have to worry about how are we going to get back on Sunday? Where can we watch the game?
Good point. Good point. Yeah.
So I think that's going to be a factor too. After they watch, the Commanders and Packers tonight, wherever they are, maybe they get settled in here and watch it, or maybe they fly in tomorrow. But they're going to bring numbers.
All right. So there's a little Alabama again tomorrow. Gillettes. 11 to 2, special time for our shows. So if you tune in at 9, tell your friends, alert everybody. 9 to 11, not on the air. 11 on the air, 11 to 2. We'll give you the 3 hours just a little later in the day.
Is Prodigy going to be in the back? Who is Prodigy?
I have no idea.
Yeah.
I guess that's a DJ.
Doors open at 8 a.m. Breakfast of Champions. That's on game day, LT.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Prodigy's on game day.
Prodigy in the back. VIP wristbands at 2 p.m. tomorrow, right when we're done. And Camel Crush is on stage.
I could not find what kind of music they played.
Yeah, Jeeves, can you find anything on Camel Crush? They got to have a Facebook page.
No,
right?
they didn't, Jeeves. I mean, you can waste your time if you want to, but I Googled the heck out of it yesterday. I couldn't find anything.
I'll see what I can do.
Yeah, that's shocking.
I think they're on Spotify if you just want to give a listen and you can say what they played.
I thought all bands had Facebook pages.
I couldn't find anything for them. I tried.
Were you spelling camel correctly? Your spelling lately has been
I would assume Camel, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I think there's only one way to spell it.
They've got multiple albums.
Well, they do, but they didn't have like a website. The only thing I could find website-wise was something about Camel cigarettes.
Well, their most ironically, Light My Cigarettes, their most download song.
Okay. That sounds a little...
25,421 listens.
Tyler is listening off mic, so we don't get the old...
Oh, I don't even think YouTube could recognize who they are.
The old copyright.
Yeah, there's some original music rolling through.
YouTube's not protecting Camel Crush, you don't think?
Fans also like G-Hats, Weekend Together, 6XX, Puppy, Benji Cries, Nathan, and BXL.
Tyler,
Clerks,
how would you describe it? Give me
Boulevard,
a comp.
Sweet Leaf.
Give me a comp.
Wobbly Dog.
A comp that we'll know, not any of those.
It kind of reminds me of like I guess a darker, slower Death Cab for Cutie.
Oh,
that's what that Light My Cigarette
slower.
Sounds like. Yeah.
And darker than Death Cab for Cutie?
Is that
LT's going to love them.
Yeah. Is that the atmosphere we want on a Friday at Gillette's?
They're after our show.
Maybe they've got some faster stuff, some more energetic stuff. But that is what Light My Cigarette reminded me.
Dunaway, you always like to give
like Death Cab for Cutie.
Unsolicited advice to people. Tell them tomorrow, start playing 80s. Let's change the name to Camel Toe from Camel Crush. Like, we could liven this thing up a little bit.
They do not sound like a jam band.
Okay,
that's good.
That's positive. That's all you wanted.
Yeah. That's all you wanted. All right, one more thing in our opening segment here. Brooks Austin on the show. Dan Orlovsky coming up at 11. Brooks with us at 10 to start hour 2. Orlovsky to start hour 3. We'll talk more about the NFL with him, but we'll jump into that in a second. Right after a couple of our great sponsors. One of them is our friends at Alabama Power. Brownie, tell us how we're connected.
Yeah, Alabama Power wants you to stay safe during storm season. Storm season is not over. I know you get excited about fall weather and those temperatures dropping. But you always need to be storm aware in the Deep South. It can pop up at any time. And with tools to prevent outages and a team on call 24/7, Alabama Power is there to keep you safe and in the loop when storms hit. You can stay ahead, too. Head to alabamapower.com/storm for storm safety tips, how to report an outage, and how to stay updated when storms are coming. That's alabamapower.com/storm.
SleepHomeAlabama.com, website you need to check out. Again, sleep so important to your health. This is Alabama's best home sleep testing and CPAP. No lab, no insurance, just easy-to-wear fingertip devices, clinically validated that connect to your smartphone, complete with the physician's interpretation of your results. In-lab tests cost over thousands of dollars. With deductibles, you're more than likely to have to pay out of pocket anyway. See our friends, the O'Neill brothers at CPAP Plus. 5 locations throughout Birmingham. Birmingham, Trustful, Pelham, Foley, Troy, $199 home sleep test. Again, no lab, no insurance. SleepHomeAlabama.com for more information.
More on the college game, NC State Wake Forest, a little bit later in the show, but the NFL tonight, 7:15 on Prime, the first Thursday night game on the Prime package. Commanders and Packers, where we'll see if we get more Micah Parsons tonight, 45% of the snaps in the opening win for Green Bay. But it's safe to say 2 great young quarterbacks in the league, their future very bright as Daniels and Love go head-to-head. And this Packers opening schedule, you play division rival Detroit, playoff team last year, in the opener, and then quick week for the Commanders, another playoff team. I mean, that's a tough start to the schedule.
It is, and if you can jump out to 2-0, and look, and they are favored by 3.5. Jordan Love was really, really good last week, and that offensive line was really good, giving up no sacks. Micah Parsons is going to get better and better, at least more and more in game shape. Last year in 2 matchups against the Commanders, 4.5 sacks for Micah Parsons when he was with the Cowboys. I just think it's funny, like on the ride in this morning, I heard people talking about the Packers are the most buzzed team right now in the NFL. It's not the Chiefs. It's not the Cowboys. It's the Packers.
I believe that.
Which, I mean, there is a little bit to that once you got Micah Parsons coming over. You saw Super Bowl odds fall. It is a big brand. And, boy, they made a statement in week 1. I don't think anybody made, outside of the Buffalo comeback, I think the biggest statement game was Green Bay at home over a team that won 15 games last year. Complete domination.
Yeah, I mean, everybody was talking about their defense after that game. Micah Parsons was obviously a focus, but that overall defense looked so good. And to your point, Dunaway, I think everybody's a believer now in Jordan Love as one of, as you described him, rightfully so, one of the great young quarterbacks in the game. You'll see 2 of those tonight, in fact. And I just think you look across the landscape. Now, this is probably a little bit different before Minnesota looked a lot better in the second half. But, boy, through Sunday and the first half of Monday Night Football, you're like, boy, how did the Packers not walk away with this division? After what you saw them do to Detroit, you saw Chicago just look okay. You saw Minnesota looking bad. You were like, man, the Packers are going to walk this division off the field. Minnesota showed a little life in the second half, so maybe it's not that easy.
Yeah.
So but they do look like the best team there.
Good one tonight, and then a good weekend coming up, including the Eagles and the Chiefs. And you get a little interesting game, Cleveland and Baltimore, where, by the way, Baltimore – it's already 30 years. This starts their 30th season in Baltimore. So they designated this first home game as their celebration of 30 years of professional football back in Baltimore. Ironically, it's the Cleveland Browns who's coming to play. The Browns think they're celebrating this intentionally with them coming to town because, remember, for those kids out there in 1996, it was Cleveland, the Browns, who moved to Baltimore to become the Ravens, and now the Ravens are celebrating 30 years in Baltimore with the Browns coming in.
It's so
Browns
confusing.
fans think it's a cheap shot. Ravens said, we were going to do it the first home game. The NFL just scheduled it that way.
The NFL set up the cheap shot.
Yeah, they're the ones that had the sense of humor. Like
I could believe that, by the way.
You know, we've got our teams, and if you lost your team overnight, I think it was Mayflower Moving that took the Colts out of town. Or the Browns out of town. Now I can't even get it right.
They took the Colts from Baltimore to Indianapolis.
Right. Yep.
It was Art Modell
that moved the Browns to Baltimore.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah, but what do you do at that point? Because everybody was so upset. Do you follow the Browns and you become a Ravens fan? And then once you become a Ravens fan, do you go back to a Browns once they come back into the league?
Because Cleveland was without a franchise for quite a while. So I don't know what those hardcore football fans, the Dog Pound fans, did in Cleveland on Sundays. I don't know what you did.
I think my friend Dirty Coach Daniels,
Okay.
you know him, who named his son Houston because he's such a big Houston sports fan. When Houston Oilers left and went to Nashville, I do not think he became a Titans fan. I think he is he's now a Houston Texans fan. He's a Houston fan.
Yeah, but I wonder
so he just went without a team for a while?
Yeah.
Because, I mean, Cleveland was, it's, again, hard to remember, actually at times a really good franchise before they moved. Well, I say really good. I mean, they were competing for the AFC Championship game. Denver got in their way a lot, and Cleveland got in their own way a lot against Denver. But that franchise has never been anywhere close to what they had it before it moved to Baltimore. Before it moved to Baltimore, it was a pretty good franchise at times. And they've never been close. I mean, they've had a random good year here or there.
Yeah, pre-Super Bowl, they were champions.
Yeah, and then in the Super Bowl era, they were a contender at times in the 80s in the AFC. Again,
they're one
Denver,
of the teams that have never been in the Super Bowl.
That is right, but they were close. I mean, they were really close. If Ernest Biner doesn't fumble, was that an AFC championship game?
Oh, yeah.
It was, in Mile High.
Yeah. Ernest Biner doesn't fumble. If John Elway doesn't have the drive in Cleveland, that's a team that would have played in a Super Bowl.
Those were Marty Schottenheimer really good
teams.
Cleveland Brown teams.
Yep, and now his son is coaching the Cowboys, who are off to an 0-1 start, but maybe some good times coming for Dallas. Full circle for you, like we're on the NFL Network. All right, so there you go. That's the opening segment for us there. When we come back, what Auburn's wearing this weekend, a couple of other injury news, and just to keep the mood rolling, we will have our true / smartass comment of the days coming up in the next segment, okay? It's brought to you by our friends at New York Butcher Shop. New York Butcher Shop, getting you ready for the weekend.
I think I'm going to stop by, see our friend Jim at the Greystone location later today.
You said yesterday it's a Thursday tradition.
Right,
I think it is going to become. I mean, look, we got really good football tonight. We got an ACC matchup with Wake hosting NC State. Obviously, we talked about the NFL matchup with the Commanders and the Packers. Stop into the New York Butcher Shop, pick up the freshest in meats from those great steaks, the ribs, the chicken, the pork, fantastic sides made in-house, and, of course, incredible desserts. Great selection of fine wines as well. One-stop dinner shop. Get in, see Jim, that great staff. 2 locations, the original Cabo Heights, Highway 119 in Greystone. Rare quality, well-done service. It's the New York Butcher Shop.
Follow Scott Forrester on Twitter at ScottForresterTV.
Have you been injured in an 18-wheeler accident, company truck accident, car accident, or work-related accident? Call Alabama's largest personal injury firm. Alexander Shannara Trial Attorneys will fight for every dollar you deserve, and it won't cost you a dime. Trust me. What do you say, man?
Call me, Alabama.
Call 659-777-7777 or go to Shannara.com.
No representation made that the legal services provided are better than legal services provided by other attorneys.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
Next Round shirts, Next Round hoodies, and Next Round hats all in one place, nextround.store. Find your favorite piece of gear from your favorite show and put it in your rotation. You never know, you might be in one of our videos showing Next Round gear being worn all over the world. Find all of your favorite Next Round gear by visiting nextround.store. Place an order for you and that big Next Round fan in your life at nextround.store. Look your best at work, at school, at the stadium, or anywhere you go wearing Next Round gear from nextround.store. Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop. Rare quality, well-done service.
When you crave activity like we do, you belong in the Roback family. Get the best golf wear, hoodies, and activewear for men and women at Roback.com. Use promo code TNR20 to get 20% off your order. That's Roback.com, promo code TNR20.
Hey, let me tell you about our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama. Compassionate and comprehensive urological care with 35 physicians, 17 locations across Alabama. Their patient-centered approach to all of your urological needs. Remember, they've got that new men's health center. It is beautiful, helping men with a wide range of sensitive male issues in a comfortable environment. You can always go online, visit urologycentersalabama.com, schedule an appointment with one of their many urologists today. Hey, Lance Taylor from the next round to tell you about my friends at Michelson Laser Vision, located conveniently UAB Highlands. Almost 20 years ago, I went in for the procedure. Only took 12 minutes for both eyes. When I went in, I had 20/200 vision. I was legally blind. Now I have 20/15 vision, still 19 years later. Make the call today. Schedule a hassle-free consultation. 969-8100. Dr. Mark Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson, Michelson Laser Vision. Make sure you tell them the next round sent you. 969-8100 or MichelsonLaserVision.com. Hey, there's nothing worse than waking up to a plumbing problem. Don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Hemp Hill Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemp Hill are the only ones I trust to fix it and fix it right the first time. Hemp Hill Services does it right and always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954. That is Hemp Hill Services. Call now, 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090.
Catch up on all of today's Next Round on demand through the podcast platform of your choice. Apple, Spotify, iHeart, or Google Podcasts. Wherever you listen, always like, follow, subscribe, and turn on automatic downloads so you never miss any part of the Next Round.
Show number 1034 gets us to a weekend. We're down at Jordan-Hare Stadium. They will not get to use the lasers and the lights and the sparklers and everything as much because it's 11:45 a.m., but they will wake up a little tradition. For the first time in almost 20 years, Auburn's going all white uniforms at home. Brownie, is this officially the Stormtrooper look that they're going with this weekend?
I think that's what the fans call it. I guess the team has embraced that same thing as well, the old Stormtrooper look. So those watching on the video site, Auburn sent this out today. Damari Alston, or at least someone in Damari Alston's uniform, puts on the home blue, walks through a
time machine,
and he's in the Stormtrooper white in Jordan-Hare Stadium. So
all of a sudden, it's 2008.
Yeah.
Or 7.
Lance, you maintain that as their best uniform anyway?
Yes. I think there are a lot of teams, the all-whites are their best uniforms.
Yeah, you say the same about Alabama.
Oh, Alabama's all-whites are some of the best in college football.
Crisp.
Forrester, are they asking you, you Auburn folks, to white out? Is this a whiteout, a blizzard down on the plains? Is it a whiteout game?
Jim, I'm not sure.
All right. You're a hell of a fan.
I think I saved my whiteout not for South Alabama. I know it's homecoming.
Right.
Yeah.
Boy, and it's early to be homecoming, isn't it? How the hell are we already having homecoming?
Well, I mean, high schools are. I've seen people, I know friends that got kids going to homecoming last week. I'm like, my gosh, how many games have they played?
Yeah. Don't rush this.
Yeah.
I will say this. I will say if you need whatever color you're supposed to wear as an Auburn fan, you can get the gear at the Pants Store. Great locations there in Auburn, in Tuscaloosa, Birmingham, Huntsville, all over the place. But you can order online, pantstore.com. And Bama and Auburn polos and hats and quarter zips and more. Famous name brands like Horn Legend, Cutter and Buck, Antigua, Gentile. Nothing says War Eagle or Roll Tide like the Pants Store. And for all the ladies in the stands there, they've got your game day ready as well. The sneakers, the white sneakers, the platforms, the fall boots, the rompers, that perfect dress for homecoming. It's all at the Pants Store with free alterations and free gift wrapping. If you can't make it to one of the stores, if you're watching us in a different part of the state or a different part of the South or a different part of the country or a different part of the world, or dare I say a different part of the galaxy. If you go by a Mars rock, pantstore.com, they'll ship anywhere, pantstore.com. All right, so Auburn, interesting in this game against South Alabama. Run game should be available there, but the South Alabama team gave a little stress to Tulane last week, so it's not a it's not a gimme game like it was against Ball State for this Auburn team.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a gimme game. I do think there was a lot of effort exerted. I did not see that coming from South Alabama, where they took Tulane deep into the fourth quarter and ultimately lost that game by 2 points. Still don't think South Alabama's really figured out this quarterback situation. Such a kick to the gut. Gio Lopez leaves and goes to North Carolina. And I don't know what kind of money Gio got, but you understand the reason he left. But I just don't know how good this South Alabama team is going to be under Major Applewhite this year.
I will say this about Bishop Davenport, which is a tremendous name, and that is the guy that has taken the most snaps for South at quarterback. He's been a heck of an efficient quarterback, 76% completion percentage. And lest you say, well, it's just a bunch of dink and dunk, his yards per attempt is over 10. So he is getting the ball down the field a little bit. 4 touchdowns, no picks. I mean, again, you can't state how bad. Even Auburn fans are like, that Ball State offense is one of the worst I've ever seen. South Alabama will be significantly better on that side of the ball.
Yeah, and Applewhite, I know people are going to dog his play calling out. This is a guy that has been around football all his life, has coached a ton of football. And if they can get some balance on offense, maybe they can make it interesting. Kentrell Bullock is their running back. He's got over 200 yards. He's averaging 5 yards a carry through 2 games. I think this is a situation where Auburn's defense can continue to try to get better and better against a South Alabama offense that scored 31 last week, but I think they'll struggle to put points on the board against Auburn on Saturday.
And maybe we'll get a Jackson Arnold deep ball to one of these great receivers to take the top off before they go to Oklahoma, just to put something on the tape. Again, that's an 11:45 SEC Network game where Auburn is more than a 3-touchdown favorite there with our friends at mybookie.ag. Mybookie.ag, Brownie, the lines of the weekend before we hear from the great Dan Lanning.
As you mentioned it, Jim, the Auburn Tigers, more than a 3-touchdown favorite. Alabama this morning dipped below a 3-touchdown favorite. Now it's 20.5, so kind of splitting hairs there, but it's back up to 21 now. So what is it, Furman? Anytime it dips below 21, the market won't hold that, so it went back up to 21, something like Furman says. The Auburn Tigers, as you mentioned, Jim, 24.5-point favorites at home over South Alabama. You got a couple games tonight. North Carolina State is at Wake. They are a touchdown favorite in that game. And in the NFL tonight, as Lance mentioned earlier, you've got the Green Bay Packers playing host to the Washington Commanders, and the Packers are a 3.5-point home favorite with a total of 49 in that game. You can play all those games and any other games this weekend at mybookie.ag, code next round, when you sign on at mybookie.ag. Now, let me tell you what that code is going to get. When you sign up at mybookie.ag and use code next round, you are going to get that bet back bonus, $500 bet back bonus, up to $500. You make your first bet, again, up to $500. Whatever that bet is, up to $500, they will put it back into your account if you lose. They want it to be a great start for you at mybookie.ag so you can have some fun with them this year. So they'll give you that bet back bonus guarantee up to $500 on your first bet when you sign up at mybookie.ag using code NEXTROUND. Mybookie.ag. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere. Code NEXTROUND at mybookie.ag.
Okay, before we get to Dan Lanning, which is knee-deep in smart-assness, let's go to Joey Aguilar's dad, Jose Aguilar. He's asked by Pete Nakos about Joey ending up at Tennessee and Nico Iamaleava leaving to go to UCLA. Joey's dad says, quote, "We don't have any problem with Nico. If anything, it's thank you."
I mean,
is
he wrong?
No.
I mean, it's kind of a harsh statement. But
I think UCLA gets a win this week. They are a massive favorite tomorrow
15.5. Brown Bandit likes the other side of that.
Yeah, I still think they get the win over New Mexico. If they don't, boy, it's going to be a really might be an abbreviated season for Deshaun Watson or Deshaun Foster. But they're right. I mean, Aguilar has been great so far.
He's been so good in this game, in this season. But in this game, going against Georgia, underrated, Brownie. We don't talk enough about Georgia so far this season because of the schedule. You can make a case, maybe still the best defense in the league.
You can make that case. I mean, I don't know what defense I have. It's so tough this. I mean, you're like, Auburn's defense did not look great week 1, looked amazing week 2. That's opponent-driven, right?
Yeah.
Alabama's defense didn't look great week 1, looked great week 2. Again, opponent-driven. So
Texas looked really good against a good opponent.
That's right. Against Ohio State. Texas is probably still the best defense in the league, I would have to say. But you're always going to trust Glenn Schumann and Georgia's defense.
We just don't know about Georgia. And I do think this is a situation like I talked to a good buddy of mine. You guys know Mike Mondelli. Him and his son are going up, and Mike's dad and uncle played at Tennessee. He's a huge Tennessee guy. And they're going to the game, and he hadn't been to a game. He went to a game last year with me, but he doesn't go to games anymore. And this is just an example of how excited Tennessee fans are, but they haven't played anybody. Like, Syracuse is not going to be the Syracuse team we saw last year under Fran Brown in year one.
Had to go to overtime at home to beat UConn in week 2.
But you can't really scoff at the experience of Joey Aguilar. He's gone 26 consecutive games with 200-plus passing yards. That is the longest streak in the FBS. Behind him, the second longest streak is 18 from Josh Hoover at TCU.
Yeah.
So this guy has played a lot of football.
And the one thing that people worried about with Aguilar is his propensity to turn the ball over, and he has yet to throw a pick. Again, now we're 2 games in, so
then
some of that.
Here comes Georgia.
I know some of that is going to be opponent driven, and this is the best defense by far and away he will have faced yet.
I know this number says it's going to be a really good game, but would you guys be more surprised if Tennessee wins outright or Georgia wins by 14 plus again?
Tennessee
14 plus again, because 8 straight, and they've all been by 2 touchdowns or more. So
I would be more surprised if Tennessee wins.
I would be more surprised Tennessee winning outright than Georgia winning by 2 touchdowns.
Me too.
Yeah, that's what I was asking.
Yeah, me too, because I think I like Georgia in this game.
I do too. I think they'll play their best game of the year. I think there's so many questions about them offensively.
Probably not good. We all line up on Georgia. But I'm right
there. I mean, part of it is the defensive injuries for Tennessee. Jackson Moy is questionable, big defensive tackle. They're without McCoy, who had his ACL torn back in January. He's a starting corner. They're without Ricky Gibson, starting corner, got hurt in Syracuse. So former Auburn corner Colton Hood is starting at one corner, and true freshman Ty Redmond is starting at another corner. They are also possibly out offensive lineman David Sanders, who hasn't played in the first 2 games. So this Tennessee team is not whole yet, or hasn't been all year long. So we'll see what Georgia and Gunnar Stockton can do in this one.
Look, and Heupel's been really good at home, 26-4. It's Tennessee's coach in Neyland, but he's 0-4 against Kirby, and Kirby has coach circles around him. I think Heupel's a great coach, but these games have not even been close.
They have not been close. And real quick, we'll talk with Brooks coming up in about.
That's what I was about to say. Brooks Austin big on this game.
Yeah, 15 minutes. And I just want to ask him, is Georgia not throwing it down the field because it's not designed to do that? Is that a hamstring of his? Can Gunnar Stockton just not push it down the field, or is it just they haven't had to? And why do it if you don't have to? So I think that's an interesting storyline here.
Before we get to our Bojangles tender moment of the day, not very tender, Dan Lanning, Mike Gundy on Saturday. Leading up to that game, Lanning used it. Well, it's Monday now, and that beatdown is in the rearview mirror. So surely Dan Lanning is not still throwing shots at Mike Gundy. Oh, wait.
It's Dan Lanning.
He is. He gets asked about Oregon's first punt of the game against Oklahoma. What was that final, 69-3?
69-3.
69-3. So he gets asked in his Monday news conference about the first punt of the game back on Saturday.
You guys punted for the first time on Saturday this season, and it was James. Can you talk to us about what went into that decision and kind of how you thought he performed?
Yeah, I was just worried that if we didn't punt, we'd probably lose the punter to the portal. So I wanted to make sure we got an opportunity.
So cocky.
He is. He is going to be unbearable. I've said this about James Franklin. Same with Dan Lanning. He ever wins a national championship. Hey, that would be a really cool shirt.
Oh, I like it a lot.
They need to move the Nike swoosh to the arm, though.
I kind of agree with you. Yeah, if
it's a little too much right there. Yeah, I love the Oregon pennant, but I think you put the Nike swoosh on the arm, and it's a really good shirt.
Yeah, I think I would move the Oregon pennant.
Yeah, over.
Just slightly over, not a ton.
But that's why you need to move the swoosh, too.
I'd move the swoosh and make it a little bigger is what I would do with the pennant.
Yeah, but from his right to his left, it does need to move a little bit.
Yeah, because one thing Nike needs is for us to, to design stuff for
dissect
them.
It.
Because their stock is plummeting.
No, this is, I mean, I haven't seen these out. Yeah, I wonder if, do they have them for all Nike-affiliated universities?
So you don't imagine somebody at Nike's watching the show say, you know what they ought to do is they ought to talk more Big Ten football. I mean, these guys.
These guys are exactly right, man. We need to, hey, get me,
Phil Knight.
Give me design. Give me design on line one. These guys are right. Slide that pennant over just a little bit and throw that Nike swoosh on the arm. Yeah, I agree.
I do think we're right. It's real quick. It's cocky, but this guy can back it up most of the time.
Bojangles tender moment of the day brought to you by our friends at Bojangles. Tell us about good food before I show you what is the worst photo taken of food I've seen to date.
Oh, dear.
At least this year.
From sweet to
this
heat.
week.
From sweet to heat.
In football.
Bojangles has got those great hand-breaded tenders and 7 sauces that will definitely add a little extra flavor to every bite. If you're looking for sweet, try honey mustard. You want some tang, try barbecue. How about heat with creamy buffalo or peach honey pepper? Smooth and creamy, the house-made ranch, jalapeno ranch, a classic Bo sauce ready and waiting. Head to your favorite Bojangles. Order those hand-breaded tenders today. And do not forget them when it comes time for breakfast as well. That pork chop griller is back. So you can get the pork chop griller tomorrow morning or let them cater your tailgate or your college football watch party. It is Bo time.
All right. It has not been a good year so far at Kansas State. We all agree about that?
Yes. Yep.
Correct?
Yep.
Not a good year at
1-2
Kansas State.
with a loss to Army.
Yep.
Changes tomorrow.
Hey, and by the way, almost a loss to the FCS team they played
you're
too.
right.
Yeah. So not a good year. Not a good year.
But almost a win against Iowa State.
Yeah, almost. But it was over across the pond. So since back on the mainland, they have not played good football. So let's introduce you to a new food item they've got. It's called the half-acre Korean corn dog. Is it at Kansas State?
This is at Kansas State?
Yeah, it is Kansas State, right? Nope.
It's at TCU, Jim.
Oh, excuse me, TCU.
Still a bad start for
Same color scheme.
Okay, I got missed. So we're at TCU in
Better
Fort
start
Worth.
for them. Better start for them.
The half-acre Korean corn dog, right there. God, can you zoom in on it? Because it looks.
I hate to be this graphic. It looks like.
Oh yeah.
It looks like you shit on a stick that was burned.
Yeah. Okay.
Excrement.
You burned it.
Excrement is a word
On
you
a
could
stick?
use.
Yeah.
Some third grader could say doo-doo.
Doo-doo. God, that is terrible.
You get on me for saying poop.
Yeah, old man Jim, poop.
Yep.
Why is it
that is
poop
yeah, I
on
don't
a
know
stick.
why
Here's what it is. It is a hot dog with mozzarella cheese.
Ugh.
Don't see any cheese.
Dipped in batter.
I see batter.
Like a corn dog. And then dusted with some kind of, they're calling it
ube powder.
Ube
which is
powder?
a purple yam.
Okay.
Okay.
So that gives it its purple color.
Boy, we have overthought this.
And then it's got sweet and spicy honey. Obviously, Mike's doesn't have the sponsorship here. It's this sweet and spicy honey drizzled over the top of it. And that's available at TCU games this year.
Dude, I mean, people are going to explode in the stands.
No, thank you.
Yeah.
On that one.
I'm not crazy
people running
about
for the
ube, but Korean corn dogs are delicious.
Oh,
wait a
I
minute.
bet it is. I'm just saying the aesthetics of it is it's awful.
What, Tyler, makes it a Korean corn dog?
So Korean corn dogs are normally
Legitimately
you
a
take,
dog.
like half sausage or half hot dog, and then the other half mozzarella.
Okay.
And then that is dipped into the batter.
How did that become Korean? Hot dogs are very American. Mozzarella is very Italian. How did that become a Korean corn
Well,
dog?
because they make it, and that's how they got popular.
That's fine.
Where do you get a Korean corn dog around
I've never
here?
had one.
Section 109 at
I know
TCU
that.
games.
Yeah, in Fort Worth. But what about in Birmingham? Like if I was like, I'll give you $1,000 to find us Korean corn dogs for lunch in the next hour, could you do it?
Oh, no, I don't think I could. I've been looking for Korean corn dogs around here, and I haven't been able to find them.
Most Tyler sentence ever right there.
I used to cook them all the time, though, when I
Talk to Sterling,
worked at
see
the
if
Bow.
Champy's
Oh,
coming.
wait, you're walking on him here. You used to cook them when?
When I worked in Auburn at the Irritable Bow, they do Korean corn dogs.
The Irritable Bow. Is it still open?
Yes,
that is
it is.
one of the best names for a restaurant ever was the Irritable Bow.
It's a good name.
Yeah.
But is it just items that they push the limits?
Yeah,
that,
what's the menu?
That
I've
would
never even
lead
seen their
to an
menu.
irritable bowel situation for me.
So it's a Chinese place that does a lot of like Asian fusion stuff.
Yeah.
And what a bao is like a big dumpling. And sometimes it'll be stuffed with like pork and cabbage. That'll be the traditional bao. And then sometimes it'll be like a buffalo chicken dip bao. Sometimes a sausage and gravy bao. And then
So you're not saying bowel.
No, bow.
Yeah, like an intestine.
B-A-O.
It's a play on words.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a very good play on words, too.
And their dumpling sauce is called the chunky brown water.
Boy, they need to rename some of this stuff. I mean, I'm sure it's delicious, but my God.
Tough sell. Tough sell.
They
All right.
keep a line around the block.
Yeah. Sounds good. Sounds good, I guess. All right. So that's our Bojangles tender moment of the day. Before we get to Michelson's viewing menu and then to Brooks Austin, the film guy at the top of the hour, Alexander Shannara bringing us the first hour of the show today.
Shannara.com. Shannara.com. Alexander Shannara, trial attorneys. Where you go when you're in need of an attorney. You don't pay a dime unless they win your case. Shannara.com is where you get started there. One thing Alexander Shannara wanted to do is create a firm that could handle anything his community faced. That community is Birmingham, Alabama. He has done that. They now handle not only personal injury claims, But claims for fire and storm damage, bad drug and device claims, disability, workers' compensation, and a host of other claims. Again, when you're in need of an attorney, Alexander Shannara Trial Attorneys, Shannara.com.
Hey, and if you wear contacts or glasses, I'm speaking from experience, you are wasting money each and every year. I wore the contacts for about a decade, was wasting money on the contacts and solution. Finally went to see Dr. Mark Michelson over 20 years ago in 2003. Got the procedure done. 2015 vision, better than 2020. Make the phone call that I made. 205-969-8100. Ask for Amy. She's going to hook you up with a hassle-free consultation. Zero to lose to find out if LASIK is right for you. For more information, you can always go online, michelsonlaservision.com.
Got a couple new releases in theaters today. First up is The Long Walk. A group of teenage boys compete in an annual contest known as The Long Walk, where they must maintain a certain walking speed or get shot.
You know, I had very little interest in this, but they started showing the trailer during the college football games and NFL games over the weekend, and the trailer's pretty good.
Oh, it looks great.
Hey,
yeah.
It kind of made me want to see it.
I will get out and see it at some point. This weekend will be tough, but I will definitely see it at some point.
Yep, I'm looking forward to this one. Also in theaters, a sequel I never thought would ever be made, and that's Spinal Tap 2.
I just don't know how you can...
And how they're still alive 40 years ago.
Is that like a spoof?
Oh, yeah.
It's a mockumentary. Yeah, mockumentary. And it was one of the original Christopher Guest mockumentary. May have been the first one they did, right?
It might have been, yeah.
Yeah, but boy, I love that genre. Yeah. That, Best in Show, Waiting for Guffman.
What was Something in the Wind?
A Mighty Wind.
Mighty Wind, yeah. Where they're the singing groups. I mean, I love those. Fred Willard is just tremendous in all those.
Well, this will follow a documentarian following the Spinal Tap bandmates as they search for a drummer and prepare for a reunion concert in New Orleans. Joined by music royalty Paul McCartney and Elton John, Spinal Tap wrestles with their checkered past to put on a show that they hope will solidify their place in the pantheon of rock and roll. And then finally tonight on viewing menu, you can go to the theaters and see what might be one of the greatest cartoon movies ever made, and that's Toy Story.
It is. I would agree with you.
Everybody loves Toy Story.
Yep.
And if you've got kids and you want to take them to the theater, get out of the heat, Toy Story 30th Anniversary Edition would be a good way to do that.
Hey, will you show me your American flag real quick on the shirt? Look at that.
That's a good looking sweatshirt. I was looking at that earlier. I like that hoodie.
Yeah. I like that, Tyler.
Yeah.
Hey, real quick, The Long Walk, 105 reviews on the Tomato Meter, 95 right now.
Oh, wow. That's
strong. Yeah, real strong.
We'll talk to the film guy, Brooks Austin, when we come back. The passing of Alabama native Polly Holliday this week. Flo on the show Alice won 2 Golden Globes for that character back in television in the 1970s. Born in Jasper, grew up in Childersburg, was a graduate of the University of Montevallo, was also Mrs. Deagle in Gremlins and the very strict camp director in Parent Trap. And one of the great many roles on Broadway after her television time in the 70s.
Would she be known as the most accomplished Montevallo grad?
The late Rebecca Luker, who was...
And I know Rusty Greer.
4 years older than me, is a multi-time Tony Award winner.
Okay.
For many roles on Broadway. And then Rusty Greer, I think, would be... on the all-decade team of the 90s for the Texas Rangers.
Maybe. He was really good.
He was an all-star at least 1 year.
Rusty Greer's a good player.
For the Texas Rangers. Those would be the 3 that I would throw out there, and the great Chris Stewart, play-by-play guy
Voice
for
of the Tide.
University of Alabama.
Yeah.
Sammy Dunn, a legendary high school baseball coach here in town.
Jim Dunaway, host of the next round.
I told Chris Stewart earlier I am others receiving votes.
Okay.
Yeah, right. I am. I'm down the list. I'm where Florida is now.
I bet that old girl that was voting out west moved you up a spot. The old girl
the
that's
AP
voting
girl?
the AP. Yeah, I bet she moved you up Dunaway.
Yeah. No, he left traditional radio. Let's move him up 2 spots. All right. When we come back, the film guy Brooks Austin joins the show right here on the next round, presented by our friends at Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy.
Everything Next Round is on demand now in the podcast section at nextroundlive.com.
Honey, a while back, life knocked me flat on my behind. I was hit by an 18-wheeler, and Lord of mercy, it left me hurting. Now, I heard through the grapevine that Alexander Shannara had recovered big money for some people. You been hurt, can't work, don't sit there suffering. Call my people at Alexander Shannara Trial Attorneys. Ain't gonna cost you a dime, so pick up the phone and dial 659-777-7777 or go to Shannara.com, because when I called, Alexander Shannara answered.
Call me, Alabama.
No representation made that the legal services provided are better than legal services provided by other attorneys.
Hey, there's nothing worse than waking up to a plumbing problem. Don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Hemp Hill Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemp Hill are the only ones I trust to fix it and fix it right the first time. Hemp Hill Services does it right and always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954. That is Hemp Hill Services. Call now, 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090.
This hour of The Next Round is presented by the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, now featuring 7 days of giveaways with your chance to win a share of up to $125,000. The more you visit the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, the more chances you have to win.
Never miss anything from The Next Round when you listen on demand through the podcast platform of your choice. Apple, Spotify, iHeart, or Google Podcasts. Wherever you listen, always like, follow, subscribe, and turn on automatic downloads so you catch every part of The Next Round. Listen anywhere in the world at any time on the Next Round podcast feed and support the show by following, subscribing, and turning on automatic downloads on any podcast platform. Thanks for always making The Next Round a big part of your day.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, you're in the red zone for every college rivalry and divisional matchup all season long. I mean, where else are the scenic views as good as your view of the game? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Get all your favorite Next Round gear all in one place, nextround.store. From our Next Round hats to the logo tees to the all-time best-selling Y'all Can Have the Rest shirt, you can look your best by shopping with us at nextround.store. Take the Next Round anywhere with nextround.store.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop. Rare quality, well-done service.
Get all your favorite Next Round gear all in one place. Nextround.store. From our Next Round hats to the logo tees to the all-time best-selling Y'all Can Have the Rest shirt. You can look your best by shopping with us at Nextround.store. Take the Next Round anywhere with Nextround.store.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, The Next Round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
Hour number 2 of the show as we roll on. Wisconsin, Alabama will be out in Tuscaloosa tomorrow, the first of 6 road shows this football season. We're at Galette's, a special time, 11 to 2 Central Time tomorrow. Road show at Galette's. We'll have great Bud Light, Yellowhammers, Camel Toe will be playing a Camel Dog.
Camel Toe.
Camel what?
Camel Crush.
Camel Crush.
Camel Crush. Yes.
Yeah.
I have implanted that in your
well,
head.
you did. I know what'll happen all day Friday.
Yeah. You draw that up on the board, film guy.
All right. I don't even know Brooks. Don't know. Brooks Austin, the film guy, is with us. What is up, my friend? How are you?
I'm doing well, man. Every time, I always love to listen to you guys before I come on. I think in the middle of a Bojangles read, you're talking about a restaurant called the Twisted Bowel.
Irritable
The last
Bowel.
time I was listening, whatever it was. Last time I was listening, one of y'all was talking about watching a girl get eaten on Instagram Live by a shark. Now we open up with this. So here we go, boys. Let's talk some football.
I know. That's our show. Put it on our tombstone. That's us. I want to start with Georgia and Tennessee. And I said I was going to ask you this question, so I'll just lead with it. Gunnar Stockton's not pushing the ball down the field. Is that a Mike Bobo design issue? Is that a Gunnar Stockton issue? Is that a Georgia didn't have to do it because they played two inferior opponents issue? Or is it not an issue at all?
Look, we can make it they didn't do a whole lot. They didn't open the playbook. Like, we can do all that. But, like, you guys called me on here because I watch all the film, right? All the all 22 stuff. There's no doubt. There are 5 or 6 every single game where it's like, hey, buddy, the coach has called this one for you. That one is wide open. You should be throwing that football. There's 30 to 40 yards right there for us. Why aren't we doing it, right? Twice in 2 minutes against Marshall. And then there were 4 or 5 on the tape this weekend against Austin Peay where it's like, hey, the body language of that corner right there says he is cooked. He is running way too hard downhill right now. The tight end's going to run wide open for a 60-yard touchdown. Too bad. I'm already to the check down of the running back. That type of stuff, just not trusting what we're seeing, that's a lack of confidence for me. Here's the good news. If you're a Georgia fan listening, like, he is at least playing on time. I think there's 2 types of young quarterbacks. One type of quarterback who doesn't really trust what he's seeing, but at least his eyes are moving to the progressions at the right times, right? He's avoiding bad sacks. He's avoiding 2nd and 20s. And then there's the other young quarterback who's just doing too much and the game's too fast. I don't think that's Gunnar right now. We gotta convince him. We gotta smack him on the butt and say, hey, buddy, you can go do this. Go trust what you're seeing. Throw the football. Now, here's the real concern. That's hard to do in front of 103,000 your first daggum road start, man. That's tough. But I do think Georgia is good enough at the lines of scrimmage to run the ball and play defense and find a way to get out of here with an SEC win. And if they do, I think it'll be the most impressive win to date in college football, considering what we're talking about. We're talking about an offense that doesn't really have a vertical passing game, going into Neyland Stadium and potentially walking out with a rock fight, running the ball, defensive type of win over a team that I think is top 15 caliber, top 12 caliber when all things are right, especially in that home stadium.
I was going to ask you about the other side, Tennessee, and you look at the balance early on from Heupel, 7 rushing touchdowns, 7 passing touchdowns, but they're playing a Syracuse team that I believe won't be as good as the Syracuse team we saw last year in East Tennessee State. Aguilar has been really good up until this point, but how good do you really believe this Tennessee team is?
Look, I think they're a lot better than they were a year ago. I thought Dylan Sampson was one of the most special individual talents in all of college football last year that went very much so under the radar from a national viewpoint. But they have a quarterback now, guys. I kind of rushed to the table of the take of, I think they're going to be better at quarterback, what I saw from Joey Aguilar at App State, just because he was actually playing the position. They've spent the last 2 years with quarterbacks who were just good throwers. They're not actually playing quarterback. They're sticking on one read. If it doesn't move, like, yeah, there is a half-field read system there with Tennessee, but there's still something left on the backside, particularly on third downs, right? Like, and they get into a lot of them against programs like Georgia. They get into a lot of situations where it's 3rd and 7, 3rd and 8, 3rd and 9, God forbid 3rd and 12, because they're good run defenses. They got good defenses. So you get put in 3rd and long, and now we got a quarterback who can't get to a second read, let alone a third. You're going to be bad on 3rd down, man, because they're going to take away the primary. So they actually have a guy that I think gives them a chance to compete on 3rd down. You saw it in that game against Syracuse. Syracuse did a good enough job putting them in 3rd and 9s, 3rd and 10s. There were several of them in that football game. Joey's just working through his progressions, having only been there 6 months. That's what's most impressive to me. He's playing super confidently right now, driving the ball downfield and actually reading progressions. The other thing about this offense, man, they've reinvented themselves. It's a different Tennessee. If you ain't studying Tennessee, you're going to be in for a little bit of a shell shock when they come to your football stadium because they're doing different things, man. They're a little bit more conducive than they were several years ago where everything's outside the numbers. They're a lot more travelable. They're a lot more efficient, I think, nowadays with all the different things they've added over the years.
The maturity of Josh Heupel trying to get his first win against the Georgia Bulldogs. Another interesting game for me is Arkansas and Ole Miss. Does Lane Kiffin have the inferior quarterback in this game? Is the better quarterback for Arkansas?
Look, here's the deal. If you don't know about Lane Kiffin offenses, you probably don't know the history. Like, they're explosive, but I'm talking about at the quarterback position, right? Matt Corral's first year as a starter, 14 interceptions. Second year, 5, I believe it was. Jackson Dart, first year as a starter, 12 interceptions. Second year, I think it was 6, right? So they throw a lot year 1. And then they start to temper it down year 2 as the system starts to be more comfortable for them. So this was no surprise to anybody who knows Ole Miss football and knows Lane Kiffin history at the position. I knew Austin was going to turn it over. I just didn't know it was going to be like this. We're at pace for 20 of these suckers. Like, that's a lot, okay? And if we go into this football game at home handing Taylor Green 2 extra possessions, that ain't good news. That's not good news. We're going to be in a dogfight in the fourth quarter. We might be down if we hand that guy extra possessions, because you're right, man. They're playing dynamic football right now. I say Taylor Green plays hospital football. There is a play every 3 plays where either he's going to get hit or somebody's going to get hit because he's going to lead the wide receiver into somebody that makes it appear we finna be in the hospital. But it is fun football to watch, man. It's explosive football to watch as well. So, yeah, I'm with you. Ole Miss is in scary territory if they don't learn to protect the quarterback a little bit earlier than history says they have to.
Brooks Austin is with us. He is the film guy. You can follow him on social media at Brooks Austin BA, or when you go on YouTube, same place many of you are watching us right now, the Film Guy Network is his YouTube channel, the Film Guy Network. That's where you find him there. Subscribe, set your alerts so you know when he drops content. But does Austin Simmons, when you watch those 2 interceptions against Kentucky, and I assume you've had a chance to watch the all 22 of that, were they bad reads? Did he get baited? Was it a bad route? It's easy just to blame. I think one was an overthrow over the middle, which that's generally going to be on your quarterback, right?
Yeah. And when we start sailing balls like in the pocket, that's also like we're not used to pockets moving on us just yet. We're not like when we elevate footballs like that. I think a lot of it is experience, man. And we've come on this show and given the Hugh Freeze take. There's some RPO action, like multiple reads, thinking a lot of things in that Ole Miss system too. They're not as reliant upon it, but there's a lot of, hey, if they do this, we do this. Hey, if this happens, we got to look here. And if we get lied to a little bit, we get baited a little bit. We're just not used to it a little bit. Also, they play with rapid pace as well. Those types of things can lead to sudden shock mistakes, particularly on the road, right? So, like, all of that kind of wraps itself into one as to why this is a recurring theme. This is not just an Austin Simmons thing. This is a Lane Kiffin thing at this point, for my money. Like, well, especially with what the types of talents that he's done it with. I think they're very similar football players. Really quick releases, really talented arm talents, maybe not the biggest arms in the world, decent athletes with their legs, have to involve themselves in the run game. I just described Matt Corral, Jackson Dart, and Austin Simmons. Now, they all may vary in terms of how talented they are and their ultimate successes on Sunday, but they're very similar football players. I expect them to have the very similar growing pains that they have for 7 years at that program now.
DJ Lagway, very disappointing, I thought, this past Saturday. I thought the play calling, I thought it was just a complete mess. Nice win from South Florida, but now they go to Baton Rouge to take on LSU. What are you seeing from DJ Lagway, and do you still think there's a lot of upside when it comes to Lagway?
Yeah, he's a tremendous talent. We'll start there. Like, it's cool to be talented, man. Don't get me wrong. It's awesome. It's awesome to have a great arm. It's awesome to be 6'3", 235 pounds. It's awesome to be a good athlete with our legs. But, like, he makes really bad decisions. Really bad decisions. He threw one interception, obviously, on Saturday night that was like, oh, we can't do this thing. He's rolling to his right. He throws a post back to his left, like 65 yards downfield late in the progression. Shouldn't even throw it when it's on time. The progression says we're rolling right. We should be looking down into the intermediates, things that are working with us in our momentum, not against our momentum. No offensive coordinator in the history of America ever tells you to throw that football. In fact, they say don't. You're not allowed to do that. So that's first and foremost. He does a lot of that. He does a lot of, oh, that's triple coverage, but don't worry, I'm good. I'm going to put this ball just where I want to. Uh-oh. It's tipped. Uh-oh, it might get intercepted. So there's a lot of that with DJ. There's also a lot of, hey, dude, you ain't practicing. Like, you're very clearly not available to practice, and it's showing up on tape. We know why. We know why you're not practicing, because you're always pretty banged up throughout your history. And it's bad luck for you right now. But the first play of the football game that they ask him to do anything with his arm, he overthrows a wide-open tight end by like 5 yards. I mean, just airmails him, blows it right by his face. They throw a 15 back to 12-yard comeback later on in the second quarter. I mean, this is layup stuff for a dude that's this talented. He spikes it in the dirt like it's a volleyball. I mean, like just stuff like that. There's a touchdown later in the football game where they got a tight end running across the end zone line for a touchdown. And he just kind of lobs it up there, just flicks it up, airmails the football. USF guy breaks on the ball, knocks it down. We don't have a touchdown. I mean, there's 7, 8 of those on film where it's like we're not playing the position like we're supposed to, and we're also missing layups. Those are bad combos, and it's a combination of we don't play enough football and we haven't played enough games, but we're losing games because of it.
We got to see Austin Mack in some meaningful time against Law Monroe this past week for Alabama. Where are you on Ty Simpson's tape so far? What's he doing well? What's he not doing well yet? And are we to a point yet where maybe we're starting to discuss 2 quarterbacks playing in Tuscaloosa?
I'm not even going to sit here and come to this network as large as it is in the platform that you guys have and act like I've been sitting down grinding to all 22 of ULM. It's not what happened around here. It's not what's happening around here.
I love that.
Okay, so I'm not going to sit here. I saw the Keelan Russell plays. Those look cool. That ball's jumping. That ball is jumping. I've always said he's right-handed Michael Penix to me, so there you go. Run that clip for social media. Right-handed Michael Penix.
Right-handed
Michael Penix.
Okay.
Run that clip for social media.
Well,
no, I ain't going to sit here and act like I was watching some 77 down, point beat down against you or whoever the hell it was. ULM?
Yep.
I always call it ULM Monroe. I always do the M twice. Yeah, I'm sorry. No offense. I wasn't. I have to watch the mid-majors when Georgia plays them because that's where the bread is buttered. But, I watch every other national game that is of importance. I think it was important that they came out and played like they talked like they were going to play. Pissed off and angry. Pissed off and angry says 77-0. That's what that says.
What did you see out of Brooks Austin is with us, the film guy. Brooks Austin, BA, the Film Guy Network. Brooks Austin, BA is where you find him on social media, the Film Guy Network on YouTube. And he is with us on the Alexander Shinara Trial Attorneys Hotline. I'm assuming you also did not watch Auburn Ball State, but they threw the ball better. Baylor just never really forced them to do that. Like, I give Hugh Freeze credit. He came on after the game and was like, it's hard for me to do this, but they weren't going to stop the run. We were just going to run the football. We still just have not seen, is Jackson Arnold that different of a quarterback than he was at Oklahoma? Feel like he is, but he hasn't been forced to do that, and he may not be against South this week. It's coming up in a couple of weeks. What did you see that you liked about him, though, against Baylor?
I don't know if it's just them brand new Nike Tech uniforms or whatever it is, but it looked like Jackson Arnold spent the offseason in the weight room to me. It looked like Jackson Arnold spent the last 6 months being told by Hugh, hey, big dog, you might have tight football games this year, so I'm going to need you to be ready for that war. And if you're not, it's okay because I got 3 of them. Not only do I have 3 of y'all, I got 3 coordinators. And we're going to talk about this. All right, so all jokes aside, it was obvious that they built his offseason. They better have, because like the idea that we're going to be able to sustain that's going to be the case. I don't think that's Hugh wants to do. I think I want to take Hugh for his word there, to be honest with you. I want to take him. I want to take those words and say, yeah, he's probably right. They don't want to be running the quarterback 18 times. Why would be one touch in a big football game? No, hell no. I want those guys to be used. If I'm the offensive coordinator, if I'm the head coach, if I'm the salary, the GM, if I'm the dude toting those salaries, I want those guys getting carries and opportunities. So I don't expect this to be the game plan long term. I think that coaching staff is very, very smart, or at least smart. So that often.
All right, he is Brooks Austin, at Brooks Austin, BA on social media. The Film Guy Network is where you find him on YouTube. Go subscribe and set your alerts so you know when his content drops. Brooks, thank you very much for the time. Enjoy the games this weekend.
Thank you, buddy.
All right, Brooks with us on the Alexander Shinara Trial Attorneys Hotline.
Yeah, and the show being brought to you today by our friends at Hemp Hill. They bring you Lance's Lock, lanceslock.com, where maybe he's got to play on NC State tonight at Wake Forest. Maybe he's got to play on Commanders and Packers. Maybe he's got to play on both of them.
I stayed away from the NFL tonight. This game is too difficult with the Commanders and the Packers.
You just want to enjoy it.
I do have a side on NC State and Wake Forest that is up and available right now. Again, we've been killing it. We are coming off a losing night last night. We try to be transparent here. It is always brought to you by our friends at Hemp Hill Services. I mentioned the other day my buddy Tyler Johnson, his wife called him, Bree, and said, it's 80 degrees in the house. Well, guess what? Our friends at Hemp Hill over there, they took care of everything. AC is up and running. If you have any of these plumbing, heating, or cooling issues in your home or business, they are ready to serve you. Call Adam, Chad, Andrew, the guys there. Hard to stop a train, 205-229-2090 or hemphillservices.com.
We head to Tyler's Four Downs, brought to you by our friends at Wado Wellness today, your journey to healthy living. Planforme.com is the website at planforme.com. I was by there yesterday seeing Leslie and her board-certified team, just fantastic people. Always amazed. There's always at least one person in there that has found Wado Wellness thanks to our show over the years. Planforme.com. No contracts, no sign-up fees, and your first consultation is absolutely free. Weight loss, maybe cholesterol, blood pressure numbers. Maybe you have sleep apnea, and there's ways to help you. Maybe you got diabetes. You're looking for a great plan that'll help you there. They got it all, a variety of different things. No plan is the same, no cookie-cutter plan. That's why the website is a planforme.com. Go by there, injection therapy, meal replacement, protein bars, and so much more. It's Wado Wellness, your journey to healthy living.
First down.
What's your go-to road trip snack?
Very random, but I get the Chex Mix Bold.
Yeah, that stuff's good. Kills your breath.
Yeah, get that with a nice original formula of the Coca-Cola. Yeah.
Kills your breath, though, no joke. You got to do.
But I'm on a road trip. I'm not talking to anybody. I'm just.
I know, but that stuff's heavy. It's got I guess it's there's an onion on the package, so I guess it's got a lot of onion in it.
I like the brown chip. I don't know what the brown chip is. That is the best, though.
Like it's kind of round and like a saddle.
Yeah, it's almost like a house-made chip.
Yeah.
I've heard some people call them rye chips, but then my dad calls it Melba toast.
Yeah. Well, Melba toast, I used to have that back in the day.
I've heard of that. I don't know what it is. It's got a little garlic on it.
Is it garlic?
Yeah, and you know, with garlic, I just can't have too much garlic. It sticks with me. So.
Like a vampire?
Yeah. For me, I love a good almond. Whether it's honey roasted or just straight, sea salt almonds riding down the road, that can hold me over for a meal. It can get me to the next, Cracker Barrel or Chick-fil-A, wherever I'm headed.
Few things in this life are more frustrating, more painful than driving when you're sleepy. Like you're fighting it off.
That's awful.
You put the window down, you turn the music up, you do everything you can. One way I battle that is get something like Skittles or M&Ms or something like that is a bunch of small things so you're constantly, it kind of keeps you awake.
Almost like an almond.
Well, yeah, something like that, but I wasn't going to say almonds, Jim. As much as I like them, I don't do that on a road trip. It's normally Skittles or something like that,
I have a really bad habit. People used to make fun of me because I used to eat almonds during the show. And I remember during the time I lived up here when we were waiting to replace Nick Saban with Kalen DeBoer, and I was 24 hours on camera, however long I was up here, 12 hours, however long I was here. And I would be walking around, people would make fun of me. I'd be walking around and I have almonds in my hand, and I'm always making this motion because I'm shaking the almonds in my hand. Peanuts, I do it all. I like
always
that.
a little handsy.
Yeah.
So
I've
people
seen
are like,
you do it many times.
What's Dunaway doing on camera? It's the almonds.
Yeah, and he does
peanuts.
This number too. He'll do.
Yeah. Oh, that's it. Yeah, it's 100%.
I've seen you do it a million times. So it's a weird motion.
Yeah.
And probably a GIF when Scott gets done with it.
Second down.
Ludacris turns 48 years old today. Who's your favorite Georgia artist?
I got a lot of them this past weekend. I'm gonna go T.I.
I'll never forget. I was at a Lakers game and T.I. had just gotten out of prison. He was on the front row and he stood up and everybody gave him a standing ovation.
He got a standing ovation every time the 3 times he made it onto the big screen.
I do like
the
T.I.
Falcons game.
I would go Outkast, but Ludacris is right there. But favorite song, believe it or not, Jermaine Dupri's "Welcome to Atlanta."
Oh, that's a good one.
That is unbelievable stuff.
My favorite group of all time is the Black Crows, and Robinson brothers are from Atlanta.
Are they really?
Oh yeah.
They seem like California kids to me.
No. That's Southern. No, they're Southern rock. I would put the Black Crows in the Southern rock category. I assume you would.
Yeah,
too.
just because they're heroin skinny doesn't make them LA.
You'd actually put them in the rock category?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they're rock.
Yeah,
they're Southern rock.
I would 100% call it Southern rock. The Black Crows. Yeah. So yeah, give me the Black Crows and the Robinson brothers.
Alrighty.
Third down.
Now, celebrity birthdays were a bit lacking today, so I pulled one from tomorrow. Paul Walker would have been celebrating his 52nd birthday.
So you took that from me.
Yeah, I was about to say, you stole from Lance for this question.
Okay.
It better be good.
It's okay. I'll let Paul Walker go. Yeah.
What is your dream car?
I'm not a car guy as like if I could have any car, I probably would just go SUV. I probably would do a plain like black Range Rover with all white interior. But if I wanted to get a little funky, I might do a custom Rams Range Rover with like the blue and then the interior white with a little yellow trim.
So tacky. Be awful. I'm like Lance. I'm not a car guy. Like, they don't fire me up. I mean, 67 Corvette or whatever just doesn't do anything for me. They look nice. I don't really care.
I thought you worked on muscle cars in your off time.
I don't put on the wife beater and work on muscle cars at all. I don't know anything about a car, to be honest with you, Tyler. I need it to crank, run, and the AC to be cold as possible. And I'm happy.
That was my son, and we got him a new car a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
And I said, let's go look at cars. He goes, I don't care, Dad. I want just as long as I got Bluetooth connection.
That's right.
I was like I can buy you any car as long as it's got a Bluetooth connection. He's like, I do not care. And he never even saw. We bought him in the car. He never wanted to go look for him or anything.
Yeah.
It's like, whatever you guys bring home, I'm happy with. As long as it's got Bluetooth connection.
And I'm not even brand loyal. I've owned so many different brands of cars. Yeah. So yeah, I really don't care. My wife is far more brand loyal than me. When she finds one she likes, she sticks with it. It's about to get hard when she's done with it.
That is weird that you've got all three of us that really don't care about cars.
Yeah, me either. Bo would tell you my favorite car or truck is the next one.
That's right, the one he was selling Dunaway.
Because I get tired of them about every year.
I'm kind of with you.
I believe that.
Once the new car smell wears off, I'm itching to get another one. It doesn't matter what it is. I just like that new car smell.
Yeah, but my son would tell you McLaren, Ferrari. I mean, he would have specific things that he would throw out. I would assume you're like that, right?
Yeah, I'm more of a. I like the Nissan GTRs and I like Supras and stuff like that.
So did you like Tokyo Drift?
Yes, I did.
Came up in trivia last night.
Yeah. Something about two guys that strapped rockets to a Fiero and went into space.
No, that was a different Fast and the Furious.
That's a different movie.
Tyrese and Ludacris, right?
Yeah.
That sounded very realistic. I assumed it was a documentary. Sorry.
Yeah, but
it was. It's based on a true story.
Being the less manliest guy on the show, including the back room, I like a truck. Just to cover up for my lack of manhood. Any truck.
I just remember the shit you gave Brown when he got his first truck.
You did. Yeah. You did give me a lie. Yeah, now you're Mr. Truck.
I am. And for the same reason I gave you crap, Maggie gives me crap for it. She's like, why do you want it? You never put anything in the back of it.
I know.
You don't do yard work. You don't haul anything. You don't.
Did you say, keep talking, woman? I'll put you in the back of it.
I'm like, and she goes, and you spend extra to get the blown-in liner back there. And it's like, it's never going to get scratched because you don't put anything back there.
Yeah, but if I do.
Yeah. I said, it's easier to sweep the leaves out.
That's right.
Fourth down.
The Long Walk premieres today. If you were in that competition, how long would you last?
How fast do I have to keep walking?
3 miles an hour.
How fast is that?
It's roughly 3 miles every 60 minutes.
It's a gingerly pet.
Yeah, I think I could do, I don't know, 50 miles?
Well, I was going to say 100.
Oh, I was going to say 10.
We're all over the board.
Yeah.
I think about it this way. Dunaway, you've walked 18 holes of golf, which is roughly, depending on the course you're on, 6-7 miles, somewhere in there.
Yep.
6-7 miles, something like that.
Yeah, I like that. 6, 7.
I know. I got a kid. I got a middle schooler. I know it well.
Yeah, if I was getting a bullet in the head, I could walk a long way.
Yeah, I mean, when your life depends. When I talk about outrunning the bear, my life depends on it. Adrenaline's going to kick in. If I got to walk to avoid getting killed, I'm going to walk longer than I normally would.
But here's the problem. You're walking against other people, and how mentally tough are they? Like, if I got there as a bunch of SEALs, I'd be like, I'm not wasting my time going and shoot me now.
Go ahead and take me out. I'm done.
But I think I could walk a long way.
All right. Follow-up. out of everybody in this office, who wins the competition?
Well, I know I don't, so I'm out.
I feel...
I'll walk Lance 18 holes of golf.
Yeah, I feel like I am probably cardio-wise in the best shape, for whatever that's worth. I could be wrong. I don't know, back room, what you guys do on your off time.
I'm telling you right now, you are best shape on the show. No offense, Brooks.
Yeah, I feel...
Or Forrester or Tyler.
I feel like that I could do the longest walk. I would feel comfortable with this group. I'll say that.
Yeah, of this 6 people, yeah.
I run 3 days a week. That's about all I do.
Well, hey, you might be a wild card.
Yeah. More than most.
Yeah.
And my neighborhood has a lot of hills.
Yeah.
Oh, so
Brooks,
it's hilly run.
He's preparing.
I still don't trust you, Brooks.
Okay.
I mean, you're fighting for the medal stand. I can see you there. Yes.
He runs hilly 3 times a week, Jim.
Yeah. I'll in fact, I'll make you number 2 then. I'll go Lance, Brooks, and
that's the silver.
I think Sneaky Tyler would outlast Forrester and Brown.
Sneaky Tyler.
Yeah. Sneaky Tyler, because he's carrying around like 30 less pounds than you two. Yeah.
I don't know. I might not make it. I don't do much cardio these days.
Hey, you go back and forth to the concession stand when you're in all those movies, right?
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Probably walking some stairs in the movie theater.
Yeah, you got to walk
Forster's
stairs.
very quiet back there.
Yeah. He mows his own grass.
That's true.
I do.
Yep.
Hey, it's a lot better than we do, right?
Yeah. Better than me.
I can't remember the last time I mowed grass.
I really can't
It's
either.
probably
love it.
25 years.
Scott, you love it?
I love cutting grass.
No,
I don't
do
like
not.
the suspense, so I would just say tap me out right here.
Yeah,
Let's
I'm
go.
with Jim. I don't want to. I don't know.
Let's go. Let's see how good of a shot you are, because I'm gonna run away and see if I can get out of the game.
Not gonna walk, gonna run.
Yeah, that's 4 downs today. Show being brought to you by a couple of our great sponsors. One of them is our friends at Twin Peaks LT. It's football night in America again.
Yeah, hey, a lot of people are looking for a place to post up and watch multiple games because you have ACC action, you've got NFL action. You can do it with our friends at Twin Peaks, home of the 29-degree draft. Twin Peaks girls running around serving those things up. No one does happy hour like our friends at Twin Peaks. Whatever your preference, they've got everything from the tequila cocktails to the extensive bourbon category, top shelf spirits, cocktails served over the ice balls, local craft beers, handcrafted whiskey cocktails. Round out that great drink menu, second to none. And again, the 29 degrees, lunch or dinner, stop in to Twin Peaks.
You want to look great in a high school or college football stadium? You do it with Breakline Optics.
We need a new model.
BreaklineOptics.com. BreaklineOptics.com is the website you go to, and right now you can save code TNR30. Helps you save 30% off sunglasses that look great like these, and they are built to last. These things are so durable. We were told by Cleve over at Breakline Optics, hey, by the way, our lenses will not break. And we're like, yeah, come on, whatever. He goes, I'll bring some up there, and y'all will not break them. So we got a rubber mallet. We went out in the back parking lot behind our building and hammered these things into the asphalt. Could not break them. Couldn't break them. We tried. BreaklineOptics.com. These things are built to last. They're made by people that love to be outside on the lakes and the beaches and the rivers and the golf courses and out hunting. So they made glasses that stand up to the elements you face when you're in those places, and they last. You can see more online, BreaklineOptics.com, BreaklineOptics.com. Code TNR30. TNR30 saves you 30% off your order at BreaklineOptics.com. So go save 30% with code TNR30, BreaklineOptics.com.
Call the next round now at 205-734-0923.
Honey, a while back, life knocked me flat on my behind. I was hit by an 18-wheeler, and Lord of mercy, it left me hurting. Now, I heard through the grapevine that Alexander Shannara had recovered big money for some people. You been hurt? Can't work? Don't sit there suffering. Call my people at Alexander Shannara Trial Attorneys. Ain't gonna cost you a dime, so pick up the phone and dial 659-777-7777 or go to Shannara.com, because when I called, Alexander Shannara answered.
Call me, Alabama. No representation made that the legal services provided are better than legal services provided by other attorneys.
Hey, let me tell you about our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama. Compassionate and comprehensive urological care with 35 physicians, 17 locations across Alabama. Their patient-centered approach to all of your urological needs. Remember, they've got that new men's health center. It is beautiful, helping men with a wide range of sensitive male issues in a comfortable environment. You can always go online, visit urologycentersalabama.com, schedule an appointment with one of their many urologists today. Hey, there's nothing worse than waking up to a plumbing problem. Don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Hemp Hill Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemp Hill are the only ones I trust to fix it and fix it right the first time. Hemp Hill Services does it right and always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954. That is Hemp Hill Services. Call now, 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090. Catch up on all today's Next Round on demand through the podcast platform of your choice, Apple, Spotify, iHeart, or Google Podcast, wherever you listen. Always like, follow, subscribe, and turn on automatic downloads so you never miss any part of the Next Round.
This hour of the Next Round is presented by the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, now featuring 7 days of giveaways with your chance to win a share of up to $125,000. The more you visit the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, the more chances you have to win.
When you crave activity like we do, you belong in the Roback family. Get the best golf wear, hoodies, and activewear for men and women at Roback.com. Use promo code TNR20 to get 20% off your order. That's Roback.com, promo code TNR20. Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
Catch up on all of today's Next Round on demand through the podcast platform of your choice. Apple, Spotify, iHeart, or Google Podcasts. Wherever you listen, always like, follow, subscribe, and turn on automatic downloads so you never miss any part of the Next Round.
Remember the name Way to Wellness if you're battling weight loss in your life. I'm Jim Dunaway from the Next Round. There was a time I was over 216 pounds until Way to Wellness helped me lose 45 pounds, and now for over 2 years, they've helped me keep that weight off. Here's their website, aplanforme.com, aplanforme.com. That's a great name for a website because there's no cookie-cutter plan. Everything is designed specifically for you. No contract, no sign-up fees, and your first consultation is free at Way to Wellness.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round to tell you about my friends at Michelson Laser Vision, located conveniently UAB Highlands. Almost 20 years ago, I went in for the procedure. Only took 12 minutes for both eyes. When I went in, I had 2200 vision. I was legally blind. Now I have 20/15 vision, still 19 years later. Make the call today. Schedule a hassle-free consultation. 969-8100. Dr. Mark Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson, Michelson Laser Vision. Make sure you tell them the Next Round sent you. 969-8100 or MichelsonLaserVision.com.
Dan Orlovsky coming up at the top of the hour. Before we get to Brown's tradition today, I want to tell you about two things. One of them, big college football game tonight, is NC State Wake Forest, 6:30 ESPN. LT's got to play, lanceslock.com. Dave Dorn.
You know who Wake's starting quarterback is, right?
Robbie Ashford.
Robbie Ashford.
Yeah.
You know who their coach is, Jake Dickert.
Yep.
Going against Dave Doran. But both teams are 2-0. But if you're looking at the 136 teams in college football, to me, Wake Forest is barely a top 100 team.
I would agree.
It's not a very good football team.
No, they're not.
Jake Dickert left a better team in Pullman, correct?
Yes, much better. That Washington State team, I believe, would have beaten this Wake team by 21-28.
But this isn't the best Dave Doran NC State team. It's 6:30 on ESPN tonight, and this is our Luganville game, right? This is the game he gets.
Yeah, he's on the Thursday night ESPN game.
Yeah, so that's Luganville tonight. I will also tell you that our buddy Greg from Pell City will get on the roof, whether it's a Thursday, Friday, it doesn't matter. You need to call. He'll give you a free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City, storm repairs, full roof replacement, and that free no-cost roof inspection helps you out so much right there. And he's got financing available now, too. Works with your insurance agency, but if it gets you in a situation where your insurance doesn't cover enough or everything, he's got great family-friendly financing available for you right now. 205-542-3531. He's A-plus rated with the Better Business Bureau, locally owned for over 20 years. He and his wife, Andrea, run the company. Daughters and sons-in-law work on crews and in the office. And they've been doing this locally for so long now. 10 kids, family, deep-rooted in the area. Just the kind of guy you want to do business with. That is Greg from Pell City. And our spotlight now, Tyler. Hit it, man.
The College Football Spotlight.
The Shannara Spotlight presented by our guy Alexander Shannara. Every single day, we're going to take you to a college football campus this week. Tell you where to eat. That's what we do every Thursday. Alexander Shannara does that for us. Shannara.com. When you're in need of a trial attorney, Alexander Shannara Trial Attorneys, you pay nothing unless they win your case. Shannara.com. They have recovered more than $2 billion, maintaining Alexander's core values of integrity, mastery, passion, and success. Again, when you're in need of an attorney, Alexander Shannara Trial Attorneys, Shannara.com. We'll take it to Knoxville.
Knoxville, Tennessee.
And I'm going to give you two restaurants. I'm going to give you a pregame restaurant that is the best pregame spot in Knoxville and a postgame restaurant that's been actually voted best postgame restaurant in the Southeastern Conference.
Don't give us Calhoun's.
Calhoun's by the river. Great pregame spot. I love Calhoun's by
Overrated
the river.
food.
Excellent barbecue.
Cannot stand it.
Great atmosphere prior to a game just down the hill from Neyland Stadium.
If you love obnoxious Tennessee fans.
And it is excellent barbecue. Their ribs are terrific. They've got very, very good ribs at Calhoun's. Not the best in Tennessee.
Are those short ribs?
I like Corky's. Barbecue sauce better than Calhoun's, but Calhoun's has a very good sauce. Excellent game day environment is Calhoun's on the river. You can sit out over the river, or you can eat inside with views of Neyland Stadium.
Are they watching right now?
Before a game,
are you getting free meals?
I'll tell you what I like doing Calhoun's. I like walking by it.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think it is fun to walk by it and don't stop.
The breaded chicken sandwich with the slaw on it is excellent as well. Scott is showing you that one as well.
I didn't know it was still open, to be honest with you.
I didn't know Brownie had a whole menu.
Calhoun's.
Yeah.
Been there many, many times. Very much like Calhoun's.
Is it still open? I mean, I thought they turned it to like the Tennessee Crew bought it. It was like their
very much still.
Where they put their boats into the river.
It is a legendary spot pregame.
Yeah.
In Knoxville. What you'll find is a lot of times when you bring these restaurants up, a lot of people are, don't go there anymore. It's overrated. Don't go there anymore. It's old. They'll say that about my next stop too, Tyler. I don't know if these two knuckleheads have ever been. They don't know anything about good food. But Ye Old Steakhouse in Knoxville voted best place in the SEC after the game.
Do you get to watch Knights fight when you're eating your steak?
A lot of people are going to say, you don't go there. It used to be great, but over the last 10 years, it's fallen apart over the last 10 years. The Hunt family started.
I mean, look at those two guys in the lower right. Was this picture taken in 1977?
Started in 1968, Jim, so they could have done that. It's a great Bunt King is the guy that started this. Bunt King is a great name. B-U-N-T, Bunt King.
Yeah.
One evening he told his wife, hey, there is an old antique store out on the highway. I think it'd make a great steakhouse. The dream was born that day.
But let's don't pay for the Steak and L sponsorship.
That's not their. Yeah, that looks like a Steak and L burger. Is that their stock photo burger?
That's a burger. I can't promise it's their stock photo burger, but what they're known for is their double cut ribeye. The double cut ribeye, twice the size of your normal ribeye. And it is what they're absolutely known for there. You can enjoy some of their great appetizers as well after the game.
They've got crackers in a basket.
But get that double-cut ribeye. I like that's the double-cut ribeye right there. Tell me that does not look like an excellent steak.
Wait, if you've got to put your temperature stick in the steak, you're at the wrong place. I mean, when's the last time you've been to a steakhouse?
I like that. With a temperature stick, you telling me?
Yeah.
I mean, listen, there are prime steakhouses around here that don't know how to cook a steak. So just because it says prime on it does not mean anything. So you can turn your nose up. The bone-in ribeye, Scott showing you there with the side of mushrooms. And I like a good old steakhouse that still puts that baked potato and wrapped in foil right there. You know your mom and dad would have eaten at a place like that.
Yeah,
Ye Old Steakhouse voted, not by these two idiots, but by people that know, best post-game restaurant in the SEC, Ye Old Steakhouse in Knoxville.
Yeah. There's nothing that unites LT me more than when there's an opportunity to pile on Brown.
I mean, look, it might be great, but I do find it weird they've got a temperature stick in their steak.
It did seem,
I don't find that weird at all. I like that.
That is a very challenged server if you can't figure out which steak needs to go
even
where.
The color of the awning, the way the building look and everything. No, it's a good-looking piece of meat. I'll give you that.
It's a double-cut ribeye.
But everything, I never even heard of a double-cut ribeye.
Oh, see?
But everything else was screaming steak and L.
It was, yeah.
Not Yield
Fifth
Steakhouse.
quarter. Or,
Yield Steakhouse, but back out
the Old Fern restaurant.
I mean, that is screaming.
Look at that
steak
place.
and Yell or fifth quarter.
Steak and Yell.
God, fifth quarter. I never got to eat at one. I always wanted to eat it at a fifth quarter.
No, would you not be surprised if they served you like in chainmail if they came up?
Chainmail?
Oh, I see what you're saying.
You me lady. What would you like tonight, me lady?
Slide you the beer on their table.
Yeah. I know, Lance.
You want an ale?
Lance is
I'll take a beer. No, you want an ale?
You could take your waitress, and she walks over, you can pull her and slam her down on your lap, and
slap her butt when she gets
somebody's
up.
playing the piano in the corner. Yeah. Winter's coming.
See, I think sometimes with our steakhouses we've gotten too uppity. Like I learned last night.
I don't think Jim has. I think he gets his steaks from somewhere completely different.
They got the waitress in the lap slapping her in the butt.
That's the way we used to do it at Cafe Risque, man. Just for $20.
That was roast beef sandwich. They didn't have steak there.
I learned last night that Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce are opening a steakhouse in Kansas City. Very creative name, 1587 Prime. They're using their two numbers and the word everybody puts on a steakhouse to make you think it's a good steakhouse, Prime. Give me Ye Old Steakhouse over 1587 Prime any day.
Yeah.
Please, double cut ribeye, you kidding me?
That gets us to our pressure points of the weekend, brought to you by our friends at MyBookie.ag. Some betting lines tell you that some of these games are going to be closer than the experts think, like maybe Florida and LSU. Everyone thinks LSU is going to win this game easily. What does MyBookie.ag say, Brandon?
Well, MyBookie.ag says right now LSU and Florida. The Florida Gators, Jim Dunaway, a 9-point underdog. Oh, that's down to 7.5. It was 9 yesterday. 7.5. Lance, this line's dropping. What's that tell me? LSU only a 7.5-point favorite. Perhaps you want to look at another night game. Notre Dame playing host Texas A&M. Fighting Irish, 6.5-point favorites over the Texas A&M Aggies. We'll talk about some of those games right now. You can play them all, though, at MyBookie.ag, code next round. MyBookie.ag, code next round. When you log on to MyBookie.ag for the first time and set your account up, use code next round, and you will get a bet back bonus up to $500. $500. You lose your first bet, they put it right back into your account with that bet back bonus at MyBookie.ag up to $500. Boom, you can play with it right away again. MyBookie.ag, code next round. MyBookie.ag, code next round. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie.ag, code next round.
My 4 pressure points for the weekend. We'll get to LTs and brownies, maybe some overlap. That color was not a good choice. I'm going to go Cade Klubnik and Dabo. I think this is a huge weekend for their relationship. Chip Lindsey in Michigan, play caller Chip Lindsey, now the OC at Michigan. Just the Notre Dame, they need to win bad. And Ty and Ryan Williams. Let's talk a little bit about these 4 as we get off camera because I chose for some reason the lightest green possible. Cade Klubnik and Dabo Swinney, man. This is a love story that is up and down, rocky. They need a good performance from him in Atlanta against Georgia Tech.
Again, I do think Antonio Williams, once he gets back in this lineup, is going to make the offense a little bit different. I think, look, Dabo's established. He's got multiple national championships. Garrett Riley, your offensive coordinator, in year 3 now, all of the pressure is on him. You've got what looked to be, at least last year, a very, very good college quarterback in Cade Klubnik, but he hasn't played with it. So I do agree. I think that is massive. They have got to be really good tomorrow in Bobby Dodd.
And just real quick, you would have thought the game after his coach publicly called him out would be a game you would see a different Cade Klubnik, and you might have seen a worse Cade Klubnik after that. So you're right. I don't know where that relationship is.
Chip Lindsey, who, whether he was at Auburn or North Carolina, now at Michigan, he catches all sorts of grief for his play calling. But in this situation, what you saw from Michigan against Oklahoma, isn't that Sherrone Moore? Isn't that what Michigan loves to do? Wasn't that their DNA for a national championship, that it was so close to the vest and conservative? And he is the talk of Michigan message boards right now. Chip Lindsey needs to open it up.
Well, I forgot who it was. It might have been Reese Davis, I think it was Herb Street when he did his Herbie Awards or whatever. One of his 3 coordinators to watch was Chip Lindsey, which I didn't understand. I mean, it is more Sherrone's offense. You have a true freshman quarterback, and yeah, their identity is Justice Haynes running the football and playing really good defense. It was a weird fit to me to begin with.
I saw a Michigan fan at church Sunday, and he said, "Does anybody in the South want Chip Lindsey back?"
Yeah.
And I was like, "What?"
I mean, isn't it just Sharon Moore's offense? I mean, I didn't hear anybody gripe about conservative play calling when they ran it every play in the second half in 2023 when they beat Penn State on the road.
Yeah, in fact, it was praised.
That's right.
It was like, they lined up and whipped them. Yeah.
So to me, the offensive line needs to play better.
Yeah, I think he knew he had a freshman quarterback in a hostile environment against Brent Venables, and he was not going to put the game on his shoulders. And it was the right call, by the way. What was he, 9 of 24?
Yep.
I mean, Bryce Hunter was not going to win that game for you. Your only path was through Justice Haynes.
Notre Dame needing a win because they're 0-2. They didn't play last week. I forgot they didn't play last week.
Yep.
So they just need a win. And then Ty Simpson, Ryan Williams. Kalen DeBoer has some thoughts about he's going to play quarterbacks that practice the best. So he's not saying it's not Ty Simpson's job anymore, but Austin Mack obviously got some significant playing time against Lob Monroe. But it's important, I think, for Ty and Ryan Williams because Ryan Williams, the whole quarterback battle discussion, Ryan Williams was very pro Ty Simpson. I think it's time for them to hit a little connection point here, and let's see something in this game Saturday against Wisconsin.
Yeah, I'll just because we do have duplication, I'll start with my number 3. I've got Ryan Williams / Ryan Grubb, and you could throw Simpson in there too. Look, it's time to put up or shut up if you're Ryan Williams. Seems like a great kid. But the fact of the matter is he has not had a 100-yard-plus game in almost a calendar year. You've got podcast, you've got TikTok, you've got stuffed animals, you've got painted fingernails. All that stuff is fine, but when you're the highest-paid player on this roster, you got to start producing. And I think Ryan Grubb and Kalen DeBoer realize what a talent he is. But now that he's back healthy, I think this guy's got to be an impact guy.
I will say that in some games – he is the decoy.
Yep.
Right? They're going to take Ryan Williams away to open it up for people. At some point, though, you got to prove so that continues to be the case to help Bernard.
But if you're good enough, even with doubles, Jeremiah Smith is never going to be a decoy. He might be a decoy in parts for Cornell Tate, but still, Jeremiah Smith's going to get his. So Ryan Williams, even if you are a decoy, you still got to be able to get yours. I'm going to go to your Notre Dame. C.J. Carr making his second career start. I thought he was good, but he's got to be a little bit better because now you're playing against A&M and there's zero margin of error. I think if they were to lose this game as 7.5-point favorites, I don't think they can recover. Even if they were to win 10 consecutive games to end the season, I think it would be really, really difficult for Notre Dame to get in.
They need USC to have a great year.
They really and to beat them.
And them to beat USC.
Yeah. Got to thread a needle there.
That's their best remaining game after this.
Yeah, and look, we can be critical of athletes now because they're getting paid. Darian Mensah against your former team, Tulane, he already said this is weird, but he turned it over 3 times in the red zone last week against Illinois. And he's got a ton of talent. So this is a guy that led Tulane to a 7-0 start last year in the AAC. He's going against his former team. He's getting a lot of money. He's got to play loose, and he's got to play well for them to win. They're a 1-point favorite on the road. I think that is a tremendous game this weekend, by the way.
We've got a bit of a crossover, but I've got one for both teams in a single game. For Ole Miss, their defense, Taylon Green statistically is the best quarterback in the SEC right now. He has not been challenged. They've
11 touchdowns.
11 touchdowns, but it's come against Arkansas State and Alabama A&M. So Ole Miss is a huge step up, but Pete Golding's defense, Taylon Green is good enough to beat a team he's not supposed to beat at some point this year.
Oh, he will, yeah.
You don't want it to be you. So Pete Golding and Ole Miss's defense have their hands full. But Arkansas to stay in that game, the thing I really like about Ole Miss is the way they can run the football. And that's what always gets misunderstood about Lane Kiffin. Everybody thinks he just chunks it all over the field. Lane Kiffin is dedicated to running the football. And Ole Miss ran the football very well against Kentucky. So Arkansas's rush defense has got to be stout in that game. And then I'm going to take the opposite side on C.J. Carr. He's only played the one game, and it was against Miami on the road. Texas A&M pass defense has given up 4 pass touchdowns through 2 games against inferior opponents and has not intercepted a pass yet. They got to play better on the road against C.J. Carr, or they will lose that game, and then Notre Dame's back in a good spot.
Well, Notre Dame controls their whole schedule. Do you not wish they'd had a game in between Miami and Texas A&M?
Yeah.
And that was even a short week, and it still feels like it's been forever since I saw him play.
Don't want to buy. I did hear Neuheisel this morning talking about the reason he thought Alabama was so bad against Florida State was they were tired. And, if you're just listening, you're like, how in the hell are you tired week one? And he explained fall camp, how difficult it could have been. But you just wonder, do you really want to take a bye this early in the season?
Yeah. No, I mean, I don't know that to be true, what Neuheisel's talking about. I have not heard that. But, that's part of coaching is preparing a team for the season. All right, that's our pressure points for the weekend in college football. NFL coming up at the top of the hour with Dan Orlovsky. Our friends at Bojangles bringing you part of the show today.
You can make it bow time at Bojangles. Those great hand-breaded tenders are not only a great idea for lunch or dinner tonight, but they're a great idea for your high school or college football tailgates. Your watch parties at the house, you can go by and let Bojangles cater that for you. Also a great idea is breakfast tomorrow morning with that pork chop griller from Bojangles. You missed it. It missed you. It is back now. That great juicy pork chop between those biscuits right there. Fantastic. And you can enjoy it for yourself tomorrow morning for breakfast at your local Bojangles. So whether it's the tailgate, the watch party with those hand-breaded tenders, or breakfast tomorrow, make it bow time with Bojangles.
You mentioned Arkansas's, what was it?
Arkansas's rush defense against that Ole Miss rush attack.
Last year, Ole Miss scored 63 points on Arkansas. Sam Pittman, he's like an old elephant. He doesn't forget.
Given how last year's game went here in Fayetteville, then putting up 63, still throwing the ball late in the game, and then 3 of the players on your roster now on their roster, is this a circle the calendar kind of game, and do you play into that with your team in terms of like just what happened last year and everything else?
Yeah, I think there's always, so you prepare your team. If your team, we have a good enough team, and we do, and if we play well, we can play with anybody on our schedule. And I may be the only guy that believes that, but I believe it with all. Well, no, I'm not. I got 115 that believe that as well. So certainly the way we got beat last year in that game, it has to have some motivation. The problem with that is a bunch of our kids that are playing on our team weren't here for it. Now, it should motivate the guys that were embarrassed because it was an embarrassing night. So certainly there are things there that we'll talk about after. We certainly need a great week of practice to prepare ourselves, but that may be part of the motivation.
Yeah. If a coach says that may be part of the motivation,
it's part
of the motivation. Meanwhile, here's Lane Kiffin on Talon Green. Right now, as Brandon continues to tell you, statistically, one of the best quarterbacks in the country. Lane Kiffin knows that.
You mentioned Talon Green, too, kind of touching on him. Y'all played him before. Y'all know him as a player. He's always had that dual threat capability, and he's dangerous in both ways. But it seems like, at least through the first few weeks of the season, he's taken a step up, too. They're number 4, I think, in yards in the country. Just what have you seen from him and his growth?
Yeah, really dynamic. First off, he's dynamic, athlete from a height, weight, speed standpoint. To be able to run like he can. And I don't think he was fully healthy in our game a year ago. So he's a problem. He's a lot to deal with, and I think kind of similar that way to the South Carolina quarterback, Lenoris, that here's 2 guys that are really hard to game plan for because they're big and they can throw.
Yeah, so that's a little good comparison there if you're an Arkansas fan, a little Lenoris Sellers. That gets you for another big SEC weekend. Arkansas and Ole Miss, one of the many games on the slate. Looking ahead to the weekend, brought to you by our friends at Michelson Laser Vision.
205-969-8100. Make that phone call that I made back in 2003. Dr. Mark Michelson, true pioneer, first to perform the LASIK procedure in the state of Alabama way back in 1995. Look at your eyes. You want to go to the best. In my opinion, Dr. Mark Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson, the best. Call around. If you're getting a LASIK procedure done in the state of Alabama, people from Chicago, L.A., New York, they're going to tell you Dr. Mark Michelson is the man. 205-969-8100. As for Amy, tell her the next round sent you. For more information, MichelsonLaserVision.com.
Follow LT on Twitter at @TheLanceTaylor.
Yo, kinfolk, what's good, man? Let me holler at you for a minute. You know how life can be life. You're out there chasing that dollar. Every dollar is accounted for going somewhere. Then all of a sudden, bam! Out of nowhere, a car accident. All I had to do was hit up my people at Alexander Shannara Trial. You already know when that dude Alex pulls up the trial, he shuts down the litigation situation. Yo, go to Shannara.com. Hit him up at 659-777-7777.
Call me, Alabama.
No representation that legal services provided are better than any other provider.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round to tell you about one of our favorite places for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That is Hamburger Heaven since 1982. Hamburger Heaven has been serving Birmingham's best hamburgers, cheeseburgers, French fries, hand-spun milkshakes, and sandwiches made fresh to order. All of their ingredients are fresh and prepared daily. This includes their beef, always fresh, never frozen, hand-pattied each and every day. For breakfast, lunch, or dinner, visit any of the 4 locations, Highway 280, Irondale, Gardendale, and Homewood.
Follow Next Round Live on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. The social media team at Next Round Live is dedicated to giving you daily news conferences and practice video from UAB, Alabama, Auburn, and around college football. Follow and compare to the sites you used to visit. You'll also get the latest highlights and news from the Next Round Daily Show. Turn on the notifications so you don't miss a thing. Follow Next Round Live on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. See more at nextroundlive.com.
Hey, there's nothing worse than waking up to a plumbing problem. Don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Hemp Hill Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemp Hill are the only ones I trust to fix it and fix it right the first time. Hemp Hill Services does it right and always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954. That is Hemp Hill Services. Call now, 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090. Hey, for all of your IT and printing needs, reach out to our friends at Xerox Business Solutions. Look, I'm still one of those old school guys. I print my notes every single day for the show. If you watch the show here on the Next Round, you see all the notes in front of me. From day one, Xerox Business Solutions, they've been with us here at the Next Round. Local for over 45 years. For all of your IT and printing needs, visit XeroxBusinessSolutions.com or call 205-969-3000. That's 205-969-3000. Never miss anything from the Next Round when you listen on demand through the podcast platform of your choice, Apple, Spotify, iHeart, or Google Podcast, wherever you listen. Always like, follow, subscribe, turn on automatic download so you can catch every part of the Next Round. Listen anywhere in the world, anytime on the Next Round podcast feed, and support the show by following, subscribing, and turning on automatic downloads on any podcast platform. Listen anywhere in the world, anytime on the Next Round podcast feed. Thanks for always making the Next Round a big part of your day. Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop, rare quality, well-done service.
What a matchup we've got, folks. Just nonstop action. The energy is electric and the fans are all in. An intense game like this calls for a Coca-Cola. Ah, crisp and refreshing. That's a game changer. Yeah, that taste scores every time. And just like that, they're back at it. Passionate fans and an ice-cold Coca-Cola. Now that's a winning combo. No matter the team, no matter the sport, everyone knows fan work is thirsty work. Enjoy a Coca-Cola.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, the Next Round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
All right, final hour of the show, always brought to you by our friends at Champy's World Famous Fried Chicken, Highway 119 in Alabaster. Sterling is there. Great American Southern comfort food to get down there and just enjoy good time with friends and family. That's what Sterling wanted to get into this business about, and that's what he has built there for over a decade on that location of Champy's Chicken, world famous fried chicken, brined overnight, cooked to order, the in-house made sides, and the Mississippi Delta recipe tamales. Go by there and try it out. Take it to your tailgates this weekend or home to watch the game starting tonight. That's our friends at Champy's Chicken. Dan Orlovsky will join us in a second. Tyler will get him hooked up here in a moment, and we will talk to him about the big NFL game going on tonight, Commanders and Packers, and so much more happening tonight, 7:15 prime. Another big weekend coming up. On the college game tonight, NC State and Wake Forest, 6:30 on ESPN. That game, kicking off a weekend of college football that gets pretty good on Saturday. But then a couple of interesting games tomorrow night as well. Colorado and Houston is a game that we're keeping an eye on, just to see what the Buffs look like against just in case you forget, against a Willie Fritz coach Houston team, which usually gets better and better that's Willie Fritz's MO, right?
Yeah.
He got Tulane turned around. He's starting to do it again at Houston.
I think the most interesting thing about this game is who's Colorado playing at quarterback.
Yeah, if Staub gets start, that is mind-boggling.
Yeah, I never thought they'd go past Juju Lewis to go to the third stringer, assuming that was the depth chart there, that Lewis was the 2, which I always thought he was. I mean, to do that on the road, too, and I know Houston's not like a terribly difficult place to play, but it will be interesting to see what Prime decides to do at quarterback.
Connor Wegman, your starting quarterback for Willie Fritz. They are 2-0. The defense has only given up 9 points. Now they played Stephen F. Austin, and they played Rice, so they haven't really played any competition. But, yeah, I think the storyline here is if your third-string quarterback gets the start this early in the season, that seems to be a problem for Colorado.
As we flip to some NFL football with Orlovsky in a second, I will remind you that Alabama basketball got another big recruit yesterday. Their second 4-star of the week, second top 52 player in the country. This is 4-star wing 6'5", Terrace Bowie, who picks Bama over Mississippi State, Marquette, and Cincinnati. Number 52 ranked recruit in the country. Chris Washington, a 4-star wing, picked Nate Oates in Alabama earlier in the week. He was number 26 in the country, according to Rivals. And on campus this weekend, they've got 5-star Dylan Mingo and Caleb Holt and 4-star Jackson Richardson hoping to continue recruiting. That's Alabama basketball happening a little bit later on this weekend. And we're watching baseball as we get closer to the playoffs. Aroldis Chapman just finished an amazing run. His last hit he gave up was back on July 23rd. 50 straight hitless batters in that time in the relief for the Red Sox. Finally gave up some hits last night.
That's crazy.
So a pretty crazy run for a guy who hadn't given up a hit since July 23rd as baseball approaches the playoffs.
All right, Dan Orlovsky here with us. He joins us each week courtesy of MyBookie.ag. Code Next Round when you sign on and sign up at MyBookie.ag. Create your account, use code Next Round, and they will give you that bet back bonus guarantee up to $500 covering your first bet right there at MyBookie.ag. Code Next Round to get that. What is up, Dan? How are you today?
I'm doing fantastic. How are you guys?
Doing well. I hear often in the NFL, week 1 is a liar. As a Dolphins fan, I hope that is true. Do you believe week 1 is a liar? And if so, what lies were we told?
Yeah, I think that for certain situations it can be. You know, it's what training camp has looked like, how prepared you were. Did you see a team that maybe had new staff and new coaches, new scheme that you were a little bit unprepared for? What's the healthier football team? So I think there's instances to do that. You know, it's what lies were we told? Probably the reality of, you know, not everybody's as good as it looked and not everybody's as bad as it looked. I think for the Dolphins, it was bad.
Yes, it was.
But I've spent too much time or have had the opportunity to be with Mike McDaniel a couple times to walk away thinking he can't get that fixed. I have too much evidence of knowing that Tua is a much better player than what we saw. So while it wasn't good, you do believe, man, I believe in the coach and the quarterback too much and have experienced them too much to think they're that bad to go on the road and get smacked by a team that, you know, at best is a good football team probably. So, but I think that more often than not, you're probably not as great as some of the performances nor as bad.
I know you sit by Greenberg every morning, and I know he's a big Jets guy, but one of my big takeaways was the Jets in a loss. Like, if I'm a Jets fan, Justin Fields looked really comfortable in that system. Breece Hall looked like the running back we saw his rookie year. Garrett Wilson is, to me, undiscovered as far as an elite receiver. I know they lost the game, and I don't know how good Pittsburgh's defense is going to be this year. I assume it's still going to be good. But if I'm a Jets fan, can I take something out of that loss?
Oh, absolutely. Listen, the Steelers individually, talent-wise, are very good. And I think the question coming out of the game for the Jets are, number one, can our offensive line that's talented, has had moments, health, all that, can they physically dominate and control the line of scrimmage like they did against the Steelers? If you get that consistently, I don't care really who you are, that gives you a significant chance for success. The second thing is Justin going to throw it and play as well from the pocket as he did. Because once again, like if you get that version of Justin where the decision making's consistent, the throws downfield were consistent, the running when he had to rather than when he wanted to type stuff. Like if you get that version, then you've really got a chance to have a really formidable offense. And so you're encouraged, no doubt. You feel great about it. But now I think was that the lie of week one? Was that the aberration from week one? Or is that kind of who offensively they're going to be?
Listen, I don't do fantasy football anymore. The Bengals have a lot of fantasy football stars, and I know Zach Taylor approached this preseason differently after week one of his new preseason approach getting into the regular season. What do you think of the Bengals so far? A little blah in that first game.
Yeah, I think if you're the Bengals, you're fired up. I really do. Their offense is going to be fine. You know, like if anybody wants to take any money and bet that offense is going to be bad, God bless you. You're going to go broke. I think you got to be excited about the flaws, the things that have really hurt you, the way that their defense played, the way that they ran to the football, the way that they tackled. I mean, that was a lot of the things that were their main issues last year. Now, it wasn't perfect. They still got hurt in the middle of the field in the pass game, but just the style of offense or the style of the defense, and the way that they played and fixed a lot of their issues, I'm encouraged about. Also in that game offensively, one, that Cleveland defensive front is a bear to play against. Myles Garrett, Mason Graham was great. Like that's a defensive front that's just a problem, and Cincinnati always struggles with it. Two, if you watch it, there are like 3 or 4 bang like kind of drops or out of bounds by a toe catches away from scoring 27 points and that game not being what it was. So I think the stat line or the box score of their offensive performance isn't really indicative of how close it was to a different result offensively. So you're 1-0. You haven't been that in a long time. You lost that game the past 2 years. I think you're very encouraged with where you are if you're Cincinnati and just the style of defense.
Dan Orlovsky joins us each week on the Alexander Shinara Trial Attorneys Hotline, presented by MyBookie.ag. Code next round to get that $500 bet back bonus at MyBookie.ag. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie.ag. We got so caught up in a tremendous Sunday night game with Buffalo and Baltimore, but there were a lot of points scored in that game and not a lot of defensive stops until maybe it mattered at the end. Do you come away worried about those defenses, or are you just like, you don't face Lamar Jackson or Josh Allen on any given Sunday?
Yeah, those quarterbacks are just absolute aliens. They're freakazoids. And so you're not going to see a lot of guys that can play to the level that they played. I think from the Buffalo defensive perspective, it's one, they're just a bad matchup against Baltimore. They just are. Baltimore wants to play big bodies, physical run game ball. Buffalo wants to play with 5 defensive backs on the field. So that just from a starting point of human being on human being is a bad matchup. I think the second thing is I had a little bit of reservation about the defense going into the season because that defense is very much so predicated on turnovers. That's one of the things that helped them have their success last year. It's the reason why they won the game. So they don't have a ton of like ridiculous defensive talent. And so that's always going to be a little bit of a reservation of, you know, can that defense get a takeaway or two to mask some of maybe like the lack of high end talent. And then for Baltimore's defense, I think that you still are ridiculously talented outside of that real pass rush problem. Like that one guy, you know, Kyle Van Noy's a good player, but they didn't have a closer on that defensive line, and that showed itself. They didn't get near man zone. Nothing worked. So I think it gives you a little bit of like, okay, we got to find a pass rush. We got to find who we are defensive, coverage wise. So it's a little bit attached to the quarterbacks, and there is a little bit of like, okay, we got to figure some things out to make us play better.
I know Kevin O'Connell coached under the best, the genius of Sean McVay, but boy, he can call a game. But the adjustments at halftime and J.J. McCarthy to come out and play the way he did in the second half, didn't see that coming after the first 30 minutes of football. What do you take from this Minnesota moving forward?
Yeah, I mean, if you're Minnesota and you go.
No, we lost Dan Orlovsky there.
Howland Tunnel. With a
connection there on his drive from the studios there at ESPN. Commanders and Packers tonight in a big game. And to answer your question, let me see if I can answer it like Dan. For Minnesota, your takeaway is going to be the fact that J.J. McCarthy put it together in the second half, coached it up, and won the football game. And that's promising with 16 more games to go.
Yeah, in arguably the most difficult division in football, you won week 1 on the road in his first start, coming back in the second half. You know you're going to have a really good defense. So if I'm a Minnesota fan, I'm really excited right now.
Well, you do, and you get Atlanta Sunday night. I mean, that's a huge game for the Falcons. Teams that start 0-2, their playoff chances decrease drastically. The records show that. So that'll be a hungry Atlanta team. And Penix is a step up from Caleb Williams right now, I think.
Yep.
I don't know if you guys agree, but I think you might be facing a tougher quarterback. I saw this stat.
I'm not going to agree with that yet.
Hang on. Let me give you the stat and see if you agree with it. I'm not going to have Penix's number here. And this is from Ryan Russillo, who is currently with the Ringer. There is an NFL statistic that's called the bad pass percentage. Now, I don't know how they calculate this, but they calculate it the same for every quarterback. They look at a throw. Is that a bad throw or a good throw? Okay. They go look at the film, where you should, all those things factor in. Bad throw, good throw. Last year, Caleb Williams was at 21%, which is considered high. I don't know what your average number is. Most of the guys are down in the lower, the upper single digits.
Right.
21%. Sunday night, he was 26%.
Well, I mean, you just saw it. I'm not a guy that played the game, but a couple of wide receivers open in the flat in the air, both.
Yeah, his bad throw percentage is higher than anybody in the league.
But I think a lot of that does, and he did make some bad decisions and didn't make some easy throws on Monday night. But I do think a lot of that is attributed to the offensive line. It's a little bit better this year. At least it looks to be a little bit better. It's still not good. I mean, they gave up 60 sacks last year.
Yeah.
68 sacks.
Yeah. I mean, it's it's concerning with him, and I think Michael Penix can be an elite quarterback in this league, and I'm starting to worry a little bit about Caleb Williams. I hate to say that. Let me see if I can find his bad percentage. I've got it right here.
While you do that, our friends at Hemp Hill bring you part of the show today. But first, MyBookie.ag is the guy that brought you Dan Orlovsky.
Yeah, code next round, MyBookie.ag, code next round, and that's where you can get that up to $500, that bet back bonus right now at MyBookie.ag, code next round. They cover your first bet up to $500. You lose, they put it right back into your account when you use code NEXTROUND. MyBookie.ag, code NEXTROUND. MyBookie.ag, code NEXTROUND.
Hey, if you have any plumbing, heating, or cooling issues like our man Tyler did just a couple of days ago, make the phone call that he made to Hemp Hill Services, 205-229-2090. Hard to stop a train call. Adam, Chad, Andrew, the guys there. Tell them the Next Round sent you. For more information, hemphillservices.com.
Now, let me put this in perspective. To be fair to him, Josh Allen is at 18% last year, and anybody in America would take Josh Allen as their quarterback. So stats can be misleading. But of your normal starters, even Will Levis was better than Caleb Williams. He is the worst with a bad throw percentage of 21%. Your best in the league is Geno Smith at 10%. Now, again, this tells you how stats can be liars. Nobody wants Geno Smith as their quarterback. Your guy, Baker Mayfield, second best.
The Raiders, pretty good right now.
Okay, that's a good point. Your guy, Baker Mayfield, second best in the league, 11%. So,
but how many of those throws does Mike Evans make them good throws?
I don't know. Again, I'm not telling you I 100% know how bad throw percentage is calculated. I just know it's calculated the same for every quarterback. And when you've got one guy that is dead last among starters and was even worse than his previous year number last week, I do think it's a cause for concern for Chicago.
Okay, let's run through a couple of these Sunday games for you. Browns and Ravens. Get right game for the Ravens?
Yeah, I mean, look, I think they're still in shock. But, yeah, absolutely. And for the Browns, you got to play great defense, and Flacco can't make mistakes, and they're just trying to keep it close. But, yeah, This should be a big get-right game for Baltimore.
I really, really, really fascinated to see what the Cowboys can do at home in their home opener against the Giants, because the Giants, they're debating on
that's what I want to see.
Who's going to play their quarterback, and if it's Jackson Dart, this has got to be a win for the Cowboys.
Yeah.
Even though I lean Giants, that's got to be Cowboys.
If you go against Jackson Dart in his first start and don't win.
Well, look, if Russell Wilson can't do anything against this Cowboys defense, although, without Micah Parsons, they still were in the game wire to wire with Philadelphia. This might be the moment, though, that New York figures out, hey, look, we need to play this guy. And when I asked the question a couple of weeks ago, what happens first, Ole Miss loses a game or Jackson Dart starts, I think it's becoming, it's going to be touch and go on that.
Yeah. Mark Stoops thinks if they got the pass interference call, Ole Miss would have lost that game first. But, I mean, the other side of that, though, is with that Dallas defense, the way they were last year, the way they looked in the first half against Philadelphia, is that not a great time to start Jackson Dart? It's not one of the best defenses in the NFL for sure. I know it sounds kind of weird. Oh, yeah, a great time to start him on the road in Dallas. But against that defense, you could find a lot worse defenses to start him against.
I know you have no problem me saying this, but Rams at Titans, I'm looking right here at the Athletic. They say the pick this weekend is the Titans plus the points.
Yeah, look, I'll be at that game. I am very, very nervous about this game.
Why so?
Well, because first of all, the Titans defense played really good forcing turnovers last week.
They had every opportunity to win that game.
You force turnovers in the NFL, you have opportunities to win. Now you're at home. It is West Coast to East, playing that early clock. It's a 9 o'clock kick for the Rams. And you're going against a quarterback that hasn't figured it out yet. But when he does, Cam Ward has so much freaking upside. And he's one of those quarterbacks that can just beat you with his legs and can, improvise and make incredible plays. So I am scared to death. I have not seen one person pick the Titans to win this game. We talk about suicide survival pools. I would think this might be the most played game out there this week, and you know how that goes. Have you already played them?
No, but that's who I wrote down for our show coming up here, our My Bookie show. That was the team I wrote down without reading anything. I was like, man, Rams are going to beat the Titans. And then I'm reading here at the Athletic. Listen to this. Cam Ward was let down by his receivers dropping passes and now gets to play at home against a Rams team that's likely peeking ahead to a Week 3 revenge game against the Eagles.
I don't think you look ahead in the NFL. I mean, I just don't think you do.
No, you can't. You better not.
I don't know. It's just, every game in the NFL is tough. Now, this could be one of those Rams go out and win by 28, but I am very nervous. And by the way, I've been up to see the Rams. I think this will be the 5th time they have never won in Tennessee when I've gone.
Wow. I was just telling Maggie the other day, I've only been to 2 Buccaneer games in my life. We're 2-0.
You've been to 2 your whole life, both in Atlanta?
Yep. And I've
only seen the Dolphins win 1 time.
I've only seen the Lightning play 3 times, 3-0, and I've never seen the Rays play in person. So I've never seen my professional teams lose in person.
Wow, that's pretty impressive.
Literally, I've probably seen the Rams 30 to 40 times in person, and I would think that they've got a losing record.
Yeah, I know the Dolphins have a losing record when I'm there, which I only go see the Dolphins in Atlanta or Nashville. I haven't really traveled. And they're coming to Atlanta this year, and I guess I'll spend the money and go. But
49ers and Saints, Brock Purdy may not play in that one. Broncos and Colts, interesting this week. That's a late afternoon game.
I'm sorry, I mean to interrupt you, but we talked about Week 1 as a liar. I think Week 1 lied to us about both these teams. I don't think Denver's anywhere as bad as they looked against Tennessee, and I don't think the Colts are anywhere as good as they looked against Miami.
I'm telling you what you're going to get from Daniel Jones. Go back to, was it 2022, 2023, where they won 9 or 10 games, went on the road, beat Minnesota in the playoffs. I think you're going to get that version of Daniel Jones. I think the Colts bring out the best version of quarterbacks. And I think when you look at Michael Pittman, Tyler Warren is going to be a factor at tight end. And obviously Jonathan Taylor, this is a big bounce back year for him. I think the Colts have every opportunity. I said yesterday I think the Jags win the South, but the Colts can win the South.
I'm just going to say this. Minkah Fitzpatrick is aging as the Dolphins safety. The Dolphins' number 1 corner, guys, was Storm Duck. Okay? That was the Dolphin, and he went out hurt. That was the Dolphins' starting corner. We started Jack Jones at the corner. Hey, we picked him up 2 weeks ago and started him at corner. Matthew Judon basically was a starter at linebacker. He wasn't even on the team a week ago. I mean, they picked him up a week before the game.
Wow.
I mean, the Dolphins defense.
You guys were LinkedIn lineup.
I mean, Jim,
y'all had vacancies open.
It was a USFL defense that the Dolphins put out there. That game was a liar. Maybe not about the Dolphins. They could be terrible. Probably will be. But it was a liar about the Colts. The Colts are not as good as everybody thinks they are coming out of that Dolphins game.
The marquee game this week is not on Sunday night or Monday night. It's a Sunday afternoon game, Eagles and Chiefs on Fox there at Arrowhead, where the Chiefs are actually a home dog. We'll talk more about that in the MyBookie show coming up. But home dog with Patrick Mahomes and stuff.
Well, I wanted to ask this
I'd
question.
roll the dice there.
Is it? I mean, Tyler's already stolen Paul Walker's birthday tomorrow from 4 Downs. This was a 4 Downs question for tomorrow, but I can go on and ask it now. Who is less feared now, the Chiefs or Alabama?
Oh, no.
It was actually on one of the screens earlier.
Screen number 3, I pointed out to
Well, they didn't ask that question, did they?
No, hang on. Before you got here, I walked back in the studio. I'd go to the restroom, back in the studio. Screen 3, one of the ESPN debate shows. Are the Chiefs no longer feared? And I joked with Dunaway.
Okay, but they didn't say Alabama or Chiefs.
But I joked with Dunaway that it's funny that at the same time we're asking that same question about Alabama and the Chiefs. Is Alabama still feared anymore, or are the Chiefs still feared anymore?
I think on respective levels, I think Alabama is feared less than the Chiefs. I think the Chiefs, I think there are people in their heads that believe the ball is going to bounce the right way for the Chiefs. They're going to get the calls, and they still have Pat Mahomes. But I don't think either one is really feared anymore. Would you guys agree? I don't think the Eagles just whipped the Chiefs' ass last
I'm not
time
going to say not feared. I will say not feared in the way they once were.
Yeah.
The games were over before they started, especially with Alabama.
Yeah, they're not feared in the way they once were.
If you were one of the 15-plus million that watched on YouTube Friday night, you know the Chiefs had a chance to win that game in Brazil if they just get a late stop on Justin Herbert.
Yep.
And Chris Jones just let him get out the gate.
Yeah, they could easily be 1-0. I mean, that's most of the other than the Dolphins, most of the NFL you could say could easily be 1-0.
And it's an Andy Reid grudge match game against the Eagles after the Super Bowl loss, so it'll be interesting to see what happens there. My Buccaneers are 2.5-point favorite on Monday night on the road at Houston. And you get the Chargers and Raiders on our double Monday night affair happening in the NFL.
And by the way, across the board, more than 100 million viewers for Week 1 of the NFL. It's all networks involved. The YouTube game, CBS, Fox, NBC, and Monday Night Football and ESPN/ABC. 100 million viewers, which is up 21% from Week 1 last year. Do you know how hard it is for NFL ratings to increase by 21%? As many people as already watched the NFL.
That is pretty insane.
That's a heck of an increase year over year.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Game day deserves the great taste of Coke Zero Sugar because fan work is thirsty work. So if you're a Bama fan or an Auburn fan, enjoy the great taste of Coke Zero Sugar because fan work is thirsty work. Let's get back into the college football game. And let's go cut number 7, if you will. Miami. You a believer yet?
Not yet, and I think we're going to get a little fooled this week. I just find it hard to believe that South Florida is going to be able to roll into Hard Rock after going into the Swamp and winning as 17.5-point underdogs and doing it again this week. And I think people look at Miami, man, they've already beaten Notre Dame. Now they've beaten South Florida. I mean, let's not forget, Miami was 4-0 in 2023. They fell apart. They were 9-0 last year. They fell apart down the stretch. When Mario Cristobal can put it together for a full season, I'll believe. I'm not believing yet.
I will tell you, if South Florida wins this game, I think I saw this earlier this week, they become, since the AP poll started releasing a preseason ranking in 1951, they become only the 4th team to open up a season with 3 straight wins against AP-ranked teams.
I thought you said 3 yesterday.
Was it 3?
Yeah, so
they would become the 4th.
They would become the 4th. Only 3 have done it.
The AP has had a preseason poll in 1950. They would become the 3rd team to win 3 consecutive games to open a season against ranked teams.
Now, that's one of those things that I always say that's fine print because how many actually get a chance to play
Very
3
few.
ranked teams to start with?
Very few, but still, you didn't expect it to be South Florida
That's
either.
right. It's a unique thing, and I apologize for not hearing that yesterday. Carson Beck here gets asked about not just this matchup, but going against good quarterbacks, whether it's this week against USF or anywhere down the road. Carson Beck now at Miami on just big QB matchups.
People always get wrapped up in quarterback matchups, obviously, and you and Byram obviously aren't going head to head, of course. You're not playing against each other. But does it add a little something to you when you're playing against another guy who's putting up some pretty good numbers?
No, not really, to be honest. Again, I have to play against their defense. He has to play against our defense. We're not going head to head per se. I mean, it is head to head, obviously, with the teams, but I mean, I'm sure he's the same exact way. He's going to study the defense. He's not looking to, outdo me or whatever, right? Both teams are trying to win. I don't think either of us are really worried about stats. I know him. I've trained with him before. I mean, he's a good kid. He's obviously had a lot of success this year. So, again, hopefully he does well the rest of the year. I'm rooting for him. But, this game, hopefully our defense, comes and attacks him. But, man, it's really us against the defense, and that's really what I'm focused on.
Good kid. He's talking like he's our age.
Yeah, well, Carson Beck is old, relatively speaking. Yeah. I would tell you that so far, so good. His move to Miami has been a positive makeover for Carson Beck.
Yeah, look, I know it was Bethune-Cookman, but he completed his first 15 passes, much like Ty Simpson set an Alabama record going 17 for 17. This passed Vinny Testaverde for the most completions. Wow. Consecutive completions in a game.
I wonder, I don't know if we're there yet. Obviously, it's just one game, 2 games for him, 2 games for Gunnar Stockton. But, if Georgia loses to Tennessee, we talk so much about the Aguilar-Nico trade, which was actually a trade. This wasn't. But I do wonder if some Georgia fans will look at that and say, maybe we had it better with Carson Beck than I actually thought.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if he goes and beats South Florida and you lose at Tennessee.
Yeah, I think Carson Beck played great down the stretch last year. He just, got hurt in that SEC championship game, and maybe they don't win it if he doesn't get hurt. I don't know.
Alex Golesh, the talk of college football at South Florida. We talked about his birth in Moscow and coming to America when he was 7 years old, not speaking English, and now he will be the hottest hot seat coach to fill hot seat places in the offseason. A chance to set that record LT told you about, and he did that by changing the identity when he got to Tampa.
Identity, you have to be able to see it. Not necessarily a journalist who covers it and understands it, but the average fan's got to be able to see us play and say, man, like these physically and mentally tough. Man, these guys are poised. This looks like a focused team. This looks like a detailed team. Everybody right now in this day and age in our game wants to tell it themselves. Man, like I'm going to post it on Instagram, on X, on TikTok. It's me. Look at my story. This is what I'm doing. These are pictures of me. I get it. You got to build your brand. There's an NIL component to it. I'm all in. So when it's really powerful is when somebody else tells your story because you're relevant to be told. On Monday, I said, man, there's a lot of people who want to tell our story right now, but we're not even anywhere. We're not even in the first third of it. So keep your mouth shut. We talked about humility in a lot of ways, what that really means and what it looks like for us. And put your phones down, put your social media down, and let these people tell your story because your identity is out on display. And right now you have a platform and a stage to do it. So let your identity tell the story. Cliche, maybe, but it's true. There's a lot more people in here today, more cameras back there. So it's our ability to tell our story because of what we're putting on the field. But you can't stop doing it or be way less cameras and way less people.
I love that.
I do too. He presents himself so well, by the way. But I wonder if that's one of those deals. Like most of the time, having a job like South Florida, you're behind the 8 ball against other bigger programs. I wonder if that's one aspect where it's actually better to be at South Florida. Like I bet it's easier to convince South Florida players, put your phones down, don't try to be the star, than it is an Ohio State player, an Alabama player, or a Texas player to do that.
Oh, I would agree with that. Yeah.
Most of these guys were 2 and 3 stars. They were really good high school players, but they weren't loved up like the 5-star.
So can he do that when he gets to Florida?
That's why you never know. That's why, like when Porter Mosier does it at Loyola Chicago, and it doesn't translate to the SEC in basketball, right?
Yeah. But his offense should translate if he is getting the 5 stars, which he should be able to get at these bigger programs
because it already
with bigger
has.
NIL. Yeah,
I mean, I still think his X's and O's will be fine at an SEC level, but can he do stuff like that?
I don't. I lean playing Miami in this game. I got burned last week because one of my losers over the weekend was playing the Florida Gators. I want to sit back and pull for South Florida. I would love to see them start 3-0. That would be an incredible story. Amazing. Incredible story.
It really would be. And again, he is a American citizen now and all that. But if we're looking for a screenplay, you guys are always talking about a screenplay.
He looks like Crazy Viking is what he looks like.
I mean, he's from Russia. They came when he was 7, and middle-class Soviet family. Communism is falling in the red country, and he comes over here. We talked about the old spy show we used to watch on FX, The Americans. It would be pretty good to be successful 41-year-old college football coach, but really you're a double agent spy.
Do I also have Kerry Russell?
Yeah. Yeah.
That was a benefit.
That was vintage. That was vintage Kerry Russell.
Well,
right
now we would cast Sydney Sweeney as his wife.
You'll get some guys that
I don't think she can run with that rack. Black in both eyes.
That is our college football look ahead. There is the show being brought to you by our friends at Inverness Country Club. When we come back, a stat that will make Brown excited, maybe?
Oh,
yeah, and then we'll get to trash. All that coming up, brought to you by Inverness.
Hey, find your sense of community at Inverness Country Club. They've got memberships that fit everyone, from the social to the golf, the racket club, with pickleball, with tennis. Childcare also a big plus. Maybe you want dinner with friends, knowing your kid is safe on site. You can do it right there at the Inverness Country Club. Maybe you work from home. What about working from the club while they watch your kid? Whatever your interests are, you can find it in Inverness. Best days happen there. To take a tour of this unbelievable club, call Aaron today, 205-991-8608. Very important. Tell her the Next Round sent you. For more information, you can always go online, iccalabama.com.
Follow Brownie on Twitter and Instagram at Ryan Brown Live.
Honey, a while back, life knocked me flat on my behind. I was hit by an 18-wheeler, and Lord of mercy, it left me hurting. Now, I heard through the grapevine that Alexander Shannara had recovered big money for some people. You been hurt? Can't work? Don't sit there suffering. Call my people at Alexander Shannara Trial Attorneys. Ain't gonna cost you a dime, so pick up the phone and dial 659-777-7777 or go to Shannara.com, because when I called, Alexander Shannara answered.
Call me, Alabama.
No representation made that the legal services provided are better than legal services provided by other attorneys.
All right. It's a beautiful day for football here at the stadium, and we're just about ready for kickoff. Score 0-0. And suddenly, I'm in the mood for a Coke Zero Sugar. Real Coke taste, zero sugar. Now that's a winning combo. Yeah, crisp, refreshing. That hits the spot. When it comes to great taste, Coke Zero Sugar's always on the scoreboard. Coke Zero Sugar. Real Coke taste, zero sugar.
Next Round shirts, Next Round hoodies, and Next Round hats are all in one place. NextRound.store. Find your favorite piece of gear from your favorite show and put it in your rotation. You never know. You might be in one of our videos showing Next Round gear being worn all over the world. Find all your favorite Next Round gear by visiting NextRound.store. Place an order for you and that big Next Round fan in your life at NextRound.store. Look your best at work, at school, at the stadium, or anywhere you go wearing Next Round gear from NextRound.store.
What are you waiting for? It's non-stop gaming action at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. Come play more than 900 of the latest and greatest games around, featuring fun bonuses and big jackpots. You can wager and win on horse and greyhound races from all over the world. There are more ways to win at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. Birmingham Racecourse Casino, located off I-459 exit 31 Derby Parkway. Must be 21 or older.
Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop, rare quality, well-done service.
At Central State Bank, we are large enough to serve you and small enough to know you. Manage your money with ease, whether it's mobile banking, hassle-free checking, competitive loans, business solutions, or personalized financial advice. We're your hometown bank with big-time service. Visit us today and experience banking made simple, because at Central State Bank, you come first.
Member FDIC. Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, you're in the red zone for every college rivalry and divisional matchup all season long. I mean, where else are the scenic views as good as your view of the game? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Next Round shirts, Next Round hoodies, and Next Round hats all in one place, nextround.store. Find your favorite piece of gear from your favorite show and put it in your rotation. You never know, you might be in one of our videos showing Next Round gear being worn all over the world. Find all of your favorite Next Round gear by visiting nextround.store. Place an order for you and that big Next Round fan in your life at nextround.store. Look your best at work, at school, at the stadium, or anywhere you go wearing Next Round gear from nextround.store.
All right, the stat that will, I don't know how to make Brown feel. I don't even know if it's pro-Brown or anti-Brown after I tell you about somebody crazy. I'm really excited about. Urology Centers of Alabama, our friends at UCA, want to help you guys stay on top of your health. Listen, you're in your 20s, you never really think about your health. And then all of a sudden you turn 30 and everything starts to ache a little bit and you start to wonder about, man, I'm halfway through this ride on earth here, and you want to make it last as long as you can. You want to be as healthy as possible. That's where Urology Centers of Alabama can start tracking things for you, and early detection so important on life-saving things like prostate health. They handle prostate health, the kidney stones, everything in between. 16 convenient locations, 205-930-0920. UrologyCentersAlabama.com. And listen, they've been doing this for over 70 years. Here in the central Alabama area. The best urological care you're going to find. 70 years. That tells you how good they are. 205-930-0920 to schedule an appointment today or get more details. UrologyCentersAlabama.com. Baseball season winding down. Brown, you've watched start to finish baseball games this year. I'm going to say 0.
That would be exactly correct. 0.
Yeah.
Yes.
Probably start to finish baseball games I've watched all 9 innings. 0 for me. Probably.
Yeah, 0 for me.
Okay.
Yeah, just don't sit down and watch them anymore.
No,
I mean, in parts and samples, I was thinking about this the other day because I was looking at rookies of the year. You know, your favorites to win, and I'm like, damn. I mean, I used to be able to tell you starting lineups for probably half the Major League Baseball teams out there. I knew 4 or 5 guys on every team. I knew 2 or 3 of the starting pitchers. I'm just not nearly as in tune with Major League Baseball as I used to be.
Yeah, when I was a kid, I can still go around the lineup on the Big Red Machine. I used to go bench Perez, Morgan, Concepcion, Rose, Griffey, Foster, and the other guy. Geronimo.
Yeah, Yeager, Socha, Garvey, Lopes, Russell, Say.
Outfielder?
The outfield, Dusty Baker. I'm going the 81, the first championship team I saw. Ken Landreau played a little bit of center.
Rick Monday,
yeah, because he hit the big bomb against the Expos that actually put him in that situation. But then I kind of tap out. But anyway.
That wasn't 9?
What's that?
That wasn't 9 right there? It seemed like it was 9.
Yeah, it was 9. Yeah.
Or 8 in that case.
I don't know. I just don't get as excited about Major League Baseball. And, you know, the thing is, they've dumbed it down for us.
I know. They've sped the game up. I mean, I've gone, you know what? I take this back. I went to the Red Sox game.
I take it back, too. I stayed the entire Dodger game.
Yeah, Red Sox, that's the one I've watched every pitch of. Red Sox Astros at Fenway this summer, just a few weeks ago. It is much better in person than it ever has been with the pitch clock.
Brown, there have been 0 no-hitters this year in Major League Baseball.
How about that? Happens all the time.
It's been 19 years.
Yamamoto almost got one the other night.
I know.
It's been 19 years since we've had a season with 0 no-hitters.
Yeah.
We're on a 19-year run. The last one was 2005.
Yeah.
But
they happen all the time. We make too big a deal out of it.
But wait for it.
Right.
Go back even further. We've had a no-hitter in 33 of the last 35 years.
Right.
And go back to 1960. We've had a no-hitter in 60 of the 65 years since 1960.
You're kind of supporting my point here.
Yeah.
You understand that, don't you? Yeah.
But we're sitting here.
They happen all the time, but we haven't had one this year.
Sitting here about to go 0 no-hitters in Major League Baseball. I wonder if having to pitch at a faster pace has anything to do with that.
You say, I mean, there's 300 games a month in Major League Baseball.
My only thing is we treat it like man landing on the moon. I mean, we cut to it live. People go crazy.
Yeah, but
over
these
it.
are legitimate no-hitters. We still don't know if man ever landed on the moon.
That's a good point. Your guy Yamamoto lost it on the last batter, right? Jackson Holiday took him deep.
I don't
thought
know
he
if
had
it was
2 outs in the ninth.
It was in the ninth.
Oh, I thought it was 2 outs in the ninth.
because I got the no-hitter update.
Yeah, Jackson Holiday.
But it was on a Saturday.
I know. The last thing I'm doing.
I ain't switching this Northwestern Tulane game
to see a no-hitter.
Jason Stark, by the way, writes the story at The Athletic. I think 43 in a decade is the most we've ever had. And to your, I think that was 2010 to 2020, the formation of our show.
Yeah, when I originally made this point, right? Yeah.
So you can go read all the details at The Athletic if you remember. Kyle Schwarber, by the way, is over 50 home runs for the Phillies. Only other person ever to do that is Alabama native Ryan Howard. And Aaron Judge passed Yogi Berra. I never knew Yogi hit so many home runs. He is now 5th all-time in Yankees home runs, 3 away from passing Joe DiMaggio to be 4th all-time. And then he's behind just Ruth, Mantle, and Gehrig. That's the neighborhood Aaron Judge is with the Yankees. Yeah. But does he have a world championship?
Aaron Judge? No.
I don't think he does.
Played for it last year. He's going to win probably the MVP. And this is one of those years for Cal Riley that he will never have another year like this. But because Judge has been so good and he's got the brand behind him, it's going to be difficult for Cal Riley to win this.
Partially it's because of the Yankees, but some of it's because he hasn't won a championship. We just do not view him as one of the great Yankees of all time.
That's right. I mean, he's in there with Berra, DiMaggio, Gehrig, Mantle, and Ruth.
Yeah, numbers that they don't wear anymore in New York because those guys wore them.
Yep.
And we don't consider Judge anywhere near that stratosphere of Yankee.
The reason why he's number 99, right? Isn't that what his number is?
I 99? Think so, because they don't have single-digit numbers. The single digits aren't available.
They're all gone.
I think they've all been retired.
Yeah. Just crazy. A little baseball for you there before we get to trash. Before we get to trash, though, tell us about Dr. B, LT.
Dr. B, best in the business, actually reached out to our friend Dr. Beckenstein yesterday. If you are starting to thin out, it doesn't matter what age you are, 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, you want to maintain, you want to grow back. I do that non-invasive treatment 3 times a week, 30 minutes each time on the couch. My hair is more than doubled in thickness. Make the phone call that I made. Make sure you tell them the next round sent you. 205-319-0316. Set up that consultation. For more information, t3hair.net. T3's got that test. It's easy, painless, affordable, takes seconds to perform. Men and women ordering Hims, other products online, don't even know if they work. Stop wasting your money and critical time while you're losing hair on products that aren't working. Go see Dr. Beckenstein and that great staff. For more than 20 years, women and men have turned to Dr. B for a range of cosmetic and reconstructive procedures. 205-319-0316 or t3hair.net.
Any attempt to restrict drinking and driving here is viewed by some as downright undemocratic.
They're making it laws where you can't drink when you want to. You have to wear a seatbelt when you're driving. And pretty soon we're going to be calling this country.
LT's Trash is presented by Bud Light.
Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Remember, 11 to 2 tomorrow on the Strip at Galette's, brought to you by Bud Light. The next round live right there in Tuscaloosa as we get ready for Wisconsin, Alabama Saturday morning, 11 o'clock. First story, no bueno. Stunned tourist watched in horror as a zookeeper was dragged to the ground and eaten alive by a pride of lions in Thailand.
I got to tell you, I don't think I'm going to...
We're about to see the whole video.
No, we're not. I don't think I'm going to stick around to see him get eaten alive. I don't know what I do there, but I don't stand there and watch him get eaten.
Listen to this, man. The gruesome attack happened at Safari World Bangkok. 58-year-old stepped out of his Jeep into the lion enclosure. Witnesses said lion crept up from behind, pounced on him, then several others joined in quickly.
I'm sorry, but all I can think of is Cat Williams. That's the funniest comedy bit when the guy falls in the lion's den. This is not a drill.
Hey, visitors honked their car horns and shouted in desperate attempt to scare off the beast. But guess what? They continue to mangle this guy. They said the attack lasted 15 minutes before staff could reach him. I mean, what was left?
I mean, but if you're staff, though, you can't go into that.
At least shocking thing about the article, he was rushed to the hospital, pronounced dead on arrival.
Wow, that's amazing.
So they don't carry guns, I assume.
Apparently
I would think
not.
I mean,
tranquilizers? They got to tranquilize them.
I wouldn't care about tranquilizers at that point. You just got to be trying to fire to save the human.
No, I'm saying you kill them if you can, but I would think at bare minimum they would have tranquilizers.
Now, Safari World also faces criticism for allowing orangutans to hug and grope female tourists for photos. They charge visitors $53 US for lion and tiger feeding trips.
Yeah. See, I tried to make this point to my wife one time.
Hey, they got the samurais, it looks like.
When I would not let our kids get in the water with her for an excursion we did on a cruise, I pointed to the fact that there was no American flag flying on the little boat we were getting on. We were somewhere in Central America on a cruise, and it was a day excursion, and we were just jumping on two guys' Johnny boat to go out into the waters where we were going to swim with the
dolphins,
the
stingrays,
and sharks, but the good sharks, and they started throwing. They started throwing the chum into the water.
To get the good sharks there?
To get the good sharks there.
Yeah.
And I was pointing out to her, I said, baby, do you see a fence? I said, how the hell they know that only the good sharks are going to come up? And she's like, baby, they do this all the time. I said, they don't do it with USDA approval.
That's right.
They don't do it with government oversight.
That's
These
right.
are just two guys who took our $40 because Carnival parked our boat right here. I said, you can get in the water all you want. My kids aren't getting in the water with you.
That's
Daddy, I want to swim with. No.
We went on a snorkeling excursion in Hawaii, and we first, when they take you out there, you're looking at the blue whales, and it's pretty awesome. But then you get out there, and you're just on your own.
No,
and you're snorkeling around, and the only thing I can think about are tiger sharks right there in the Pacific Ocean.
It is literally in the wild.
Yeah.
There's no fence.
But this, baby, do you see a fence? Like the bad sharks looking at that. Yeah, I get it there one day. I'll eat the crap out of that.
We can't go over there. That's those tourists.
Hey, there is.
That's only the good sharks.
There is a place in the world that it is, and there's something about the lagoon separates from the ocean where sharks can't get in. Have you heard about this place? It is absolutely beautiful, but it is the only body of water where there are zero sharks.
Well, we were in whatever that big coral reef is.
Right.
Whatever that's called.
Yeah.
One of the best ones in the world. And we were there. But if the good sharks can get in, the bad sharks can get in.
Yeah, but this is a place legitimately, and I think it's like by the Maldives or something. So I think it takes like 30 hours to get there.
Yeah. And by the way, I've seen sharks.
That would be fun.
Practically on the beach at Gulf Shores.
Oh, gosh, yeah. So shallow.
Yeah. So they basically can walk on land as far as I'm concerned. I've seen them on Saturday Night Live knocking on the door.
Jehovah's Witness.
Cruise ship passenger faces federal charge after he jumped overboard with thousands in cash on him over the weekend in Puerto Rico after he incurred about a $16,000 gambling debt on the high seas, according to federal prosecutors.
Wow.
Jay Gonzalez-Diaz was arrested Sunday after he jumped off Royal Caribbean's Rhapsody of the Seas when it docked in San Juan, according to a criminal complaint by Homeland Security Investigations. Now, they say he's been charged with failing to report the transport monetary instruments over $10,000 from outside the U.S. Complaint does not explicitly link Gonzalez-Diaz's decision to jump overboard with his alleged debt. Gonzalez-Diaz was fished out of the water by a passerby on a jet ski, taken to shore, where Customs and Border Protection officers found $14,600 in cash on him. Criminal complaint alleges that Gonzalez-Diaz owed Royal Caribbean a little over $16,700 in debts that were, quote, almost exclusively associated with the casino and gaming expense. When Gonzalez-Diaz was asked to explain the jump, he told prosecutors, quote, did not want to report the currency in my possession because I didn't want to pay taxes. I think I would have come up with a better excuse.
Yeah, or pay the taxes. I think jumping over the boat was at least the third best option there.
I mean, how do you not break a leg?
That's a longer jump than it looks like on that photo. That's a pretty hefty jump.
Yeah, I mean, I would think for the first deck, you're looking at 30 feet.
Easy,
which is a lot higher than most people think. And you get up there, I mean.
Oh, it's got to be bigger than 30 feet, right?
I'm talking about on that first deck. That's probably 30.
Right over where it says Allure of the Seas. Is that where you're talking
to
about?
the left of that?
Yeah. I'm talking
not
about,
up there.
No, is that a human right there, Tyler?
Yes.
Where your hand is? Yeah.
So you
That's
do
10 stories.
You do 5 humans. That would equal about 30 feet. But I'm talking about from the bottom to the Allure of the Seas.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. No, up there, you're
just that
looking at
diving
50
board right
feet.
there. What is that?
Yeah.
That's probably 15 feet.
Yeah. Where that old boy.
I'm going to say more than 15.
All right, where the old boy is standing right there on the bow of the ship. That's a heck of a jump.
That's about 50 feet.
Yeah, that's a heck of a jump right there.
That's a little less than Chimney Rock.
And then I thought you got sucked under the boat when it was a cruise ship.
If it's moving.
Oh, that's true.
That seems to be.
Was this experience from you guys?
I'm just saying.
No. Jim's right. It's got to be moving. I must have missed that part of the story. I didn't realize they were docked.
We were just talking about the picture right there.
Well, I know. I thought they were moving.
But you're right. With all the propellers and the churning, we saw how that looks underwater in the.
In the Titanic. Yeah.
Okay, AI. It's going to be the end of us. And this is not good for Hollywood.
You say that a lot. I'm starting to think other things will be the end of us now.
Well, yeah. I mean,
I think us is going to be the end of us.
This is us.
So OpenAI has teamed up with production companies in London and Los Angeles to create a feature-length animated movie made largely with artificial intelligence. As the Wall Street Journal reports, a purported goal of the AI tech on the movie is to speed up production while also saving costs and presumably serving as a giant tech demo for movie execs everywhere.
If I'm Monsters, Inc. right now, I'm suing.
I mean, this does suck for
right.
a lot of people in Hollywood. Now, the film, dubbed Critters with a Z, as you see right there, reportedly about forest creatures going on an adventure and was first dreamed up by OpenAI creative specialist Chad Nelson 3 years ago. Nelson created the short film of the same name, which was released in 2023 with OpenAI funding. Now, the news comes as the adoption of the generative AI with varying degrees of success is hitting a fever pitch in Hollywood. Major entertainment companies, including Disney and Netflix, already experimenting with the tech. Now, the push could have devastating consequences for working creatives. Experts have long warned that the tech could wipe out human jobs in the animation industry. Now, the budget of the feature is less than $30 million, which is substantially less than other animated films, and most take about 3 years. This took 9 months to create.
9 months.
So a lot shorter, a lot cheaper. It ain't going nowhere.
So across the board, everything's AI. Voice actors, animation, everything.
Voice acting is not AI.
Okay.
They're still hiring voice actors, artists for voicing the characters, but everything else is AI, and it's actually kind of impressive because generative AI has struggled to take a character from one composition and put that into the next movie or little short video or picture.
So this is a step in the right AI direction for AI. Maybe not
good
for the
for
world.
AI, bad for everybody else.
Gotcha.
And finally, Halloween is, what are we, 20, basically 50 days out?
Roughly?
Yeah, too close to count.
Well, retailers like Spirit Halloween already beginning to open up for the season. We do have some of the new hot costume ideas.
All right, I like this, Tyler.
That Tyler is going to throw out there for us.
So all of these are, well, we couldn't get the rights to the real character, the real celebrity.
Right.
So I thought it'd be fun. We got the Timmy wig.
Who is Timmy?
Timothy
Chalamet.
Chalamet.
Okay, gotcha.
I was going to guess Chalamet there, so I'm 1 for 1.
All right.
The Queen of Kingdoms adult costume.
Oh, is this for
Bridgerton?
No, this is Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones.
Yeah,
this is Cersei. Cersei Lannister.
Trust me, Jim, they show a lot more in Bridgerton than that.
Yeah.
They show a lot more in Game of Thrones than that. She's banging her brother.
Yeah. Oh, another one.
Yeah.
The Dragonstone Queen.
I feel like we're a little late if we're doing Game of Thrones costumes.
this
Am I
does
wrong about
seem-
that?
Yeah, this is House of the Dragon right here.
Oh,
The
Prince.
Orly wig.
Yeah, Prince.
Way off on this one.
Yeah.
Yes.
That was AI Prince right there. I mean,
The Glam Rocker wig in neon orange.
Yeah.
Wasn't that a David Bowie look back in the 70s?
I think so. Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Boy, they
David
do a lot
Bowie.
of chemical warnings on this deal, man. What do they make of these things?
Yeah, apparently this glam wig has cancer-causing agents.
Yeah, also $28. That's a lot.
We got the Fun World unisex adult celebrity chef wig and gold tee.
Not Guy Fieri at all.
That's what I was going to say. Guy Fieri.
Does he look at this and he's like, damn, do I really look like that?
Okay, but look, do you see the pricing on all this? This is where I got my. This is where I got my the thing I've thrown away, the Buccaneers sweatshirt.
The bad Buccaneer shirt.
$12.98.
Yeah.
How do you make a profit on that though?
Exactly. It's like 2 cents to make.
Yeah. That tells you the quality you're buying, Lance.
The Yes Chef wig.
Oh, it's from the Bear?
Yes.
Yeah. Yes, Chef. Thank you, Chef. You're welcome, Chef. Here we go, Chef. We got a Chef. We're cooking, Chef.
My personal favorite.
Wednesday.
The weekday costume.
The old middle of the week costume.
She looks happy.
Well, she aged a lot. Yeah. We're closer to Halloween than she is to her 20s. That is Trash Today, brought to you by our friends at Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. And again, remember, tomorrow on the road, we're at Galette's 11 to 2. 11 to 2 Central Time.
And then real quick, 2:30 to 3, we are doing a special edition of Bama and Bourbon.
All right, so that's happening after the show. But Bud Light, and the fine folks at Galette's getting us ready for Wisconsin and Alabama weekend. Our Champions sound of the day, cut 3, Tyler, Luke Fickell. Whether this is a big game for Wisconsin or not, they're still unbeaten, right?
They are.
They are. Yeah.
Unbeaten Wisconsin. Last year, they felt like Alabama came to their place, jumped around during their jump around song, and maybe showed them up a little bit. Luke Fickell, is this a big game for the Badgers?
Well, this is one of those ones that I know guys, had circled for many reasons, right? Obviously, the way things went last year, but also for the idea, like, look, there's nothing more that you want to do as a competitor than be in the biggest games and the biggest competition out there, and to go to Alabama to play in front of that crowd, to go down there to play, in the SEC country. I think that there's not a guy within our program that doesn't say that's one of the reasons why they're here. And so it's only Monday, and we haven't seen what that actually looks like as you go out to practice. But where last week, on a Monday and a Tuesday, there was a coach that was prodding guys and making sure they understood the urgency and the things that we had to be able to do every single day in practice. That won't be the case this week. So that's sometimes the thing about coaching. You kind of recognize when you really got to get the prod out and when you got to kind of, even step back and let these guys kind of be the leaders that they are and be the emotions that they are and have the week that they will. And so this is one of those ones, there's no doubt that these guys are going to be excited about.
It's a no prod game, Jeff.
Yeah, but
no prod.
It's a circle game brought to you by our friends at Champy's. Final thought from LT in just a second, but Champy's Chicken brings you that sound there. Sterling and the crew on Highway 119 in Alabaster. Go by and see them. Perfect for your tailgating if you're going to that Wisconsin-Alabama game or down for homecoming at Jordan-Hare Stadium.
No, I was just going to say, he will be a hot commodity in the offseason as the defensive coordinator, seriously.
As a DC.
Yeah, very, very well-respected DC, and I just think the deck is so stacked against this Wisconsin team this year.
Starting a backup quarterback, too, and Brian Denny. And I say he's a backup. He's got a start and a half a game under his belt. So,
is it fair? Should you give Luke Fickell more time?
Well, you got to wait and see how this Big Ten schedule plays out. It's a challenging schedule.
No, everything flips if they pull off the 3-touchdown underdog upset this weekend at Brian Denny. Everything flips.
We won't be talking Wisconsin, I can promise you, if that happens.
I'll be using some vacation time on Monday. No, I won't. All right, so that's the show today. Again, thanks for being with us. Be kind, and we'll be back with you tomorrow at 11 a.m. Central Time from Tuscaloosa. And then later today, dropping our MyBookie Picks show for the weekend. That'll drop a little bit later on. Until next time, God bless you, and God bless the United States of America.